Again, playoff hockey, and this may be the time to pull out all the stops. Even rub the genie from Aladdin, looking for a little bit of luck for the Islanders. Down 3-0 to Montreal. Yes, they did stave off elimination twice in that series with the Pittsburgh Penguins, but Montreal has been just a little bit different. The Islanders and the Canadiens in a half hour. Here's what we have between now and then on the Islander pregame show. On the gossip segment, Stan's going to tell us about the rift between Barry Melrose, the coach of the LA Kings, and Don Cherry from Hockey Night in Canada. And then we'll take a look at the highlights of last night's game, won by Los Angeles to take a lead in that series. Ed will come along with his segment. Dissecting the Montreal defense is what we'll call Westfall's way tonight. And then you'll be on the telephones with Darcy Regier, the Islander Assistant General Manager, taking your questions at area code 516-794-3132. And on our final segment tonight, we're going to talk about one shift at a time, which is the way the Islanders are going to have to approach tonight's fourth game of this playoff series. Stu is standing by to take your calls tonight at area code 516-794-3132. That's the number to get your questions in to Darcy Regier. Now let's find out about that rift between Grapes and Barry Melrose. Stan?
Yes, it's a humongous feud between Kings coach Barry Melrose and Hockey Night in Canada's macho blowhard Don Cherry. Melrose miffed about Cherry's pro-Toronto stance, and he would not allow a Kings player to do an interview with Cherry. Meanwhile, Cherry is treading on thin ice, blasting Melrose on the air, saying he was a candy ass as a player, a candy ass as a coach, and now he's a candy ass for not allowing a Kings player to do an interview. I wonder whether Cherry would go face-to-face with Melrose if the Kings beat his Maple Leafs. Well, you're going to see a shakeup in Vancouver, a lot of unhappiness over the loss to the Kings in the playoffs. Vancouver media is down on Peter Nedved. Nedved managed to offend some of his teammates and outrage members of the media by actually asking for and receiving a stick from Wayne Gretzky during the handshaking ceremony after the Kings eliminated Vancouver. Meanwhile, President GM coach Pat Quinn has been taking heat, and he will step down as coach to be replaced by Rick Lee. And the most likely goalie to be claimed in expansion will be Kay Whitmore of Vancouver because of his age. He's only 26, and his salary is only making $375,000. And Vancouver players who won't be returning are Doug Lister and Ryan Walter and Tom Fergus. Well, Roger Nielsen has been reported in at least one New York paper as possibly returning to the Rangers as an aide to Mike Keenan. I say, forget it. In fact, I've been told that MSG boss Stan Jaffe tried to palm off Nielsen and his big fat contract to Bill Torrey of the Florida Panthers, and Bill apparently said nix to that. And it would be silly for the Rangers to bring Rogers back because then they would have to trade the captain, Mark Messier, and nobody would take Messier with his contract and his age right now. Well, here's a quiz for you. Which is the richest franchise in the National Hockey and one of the richest franchises in all sports? Well, the latest issue of Financial World magazine says it's none other than the Detroit Red Wings. Time now for our cheers and jeers, our yays and boos. We're giving the yay to Kenny the Bomber Baumgartner, our old pal. He looked like Wayne Gretzky last night, scoring a neat goal for the Toronto Maple Leafs. My boo goes to Brian Lewis, the NHL's officiating director, or a head zebra keeper, if you will, for claiming that no penalty was merited when the Canadiens merely had 7 men plus a goalie on the ice in the last game here. Even Canadiens announcer Steve Shutt of Montreal went on the air declaring that referee Kerry Fraser blew the call. Maybe Lewis ought to take responsibility for some of the worst officiating we've seen since the start of the playoffs. If he has any doubts, he ought to check out what other writers are saying from Pittsburgh to St. Louis. It's pretty clear the officiating needs a big-time overhaul. That's our gossip for tonight. Coming up next, we have Jiggs McDonald with NHL highlights from last night. Well, the fans are there out in the concourse of Nassau Coliseum, and as you can see, they are full of vim, vigor, and vitality. A lot of optimism. I noticed. I was there with them, and this is the night they think the Islanders can reverse the trend. We're going to find out from Darcy Regier, the Islanders' assistant general manager, about this. What does the team have to do to get back on the win column?
Well, I think we got to put some shots through on Wine and try to get to the net. Obviously, what this team does so well, and Eddie illustrated earlier, is they plug up the middle, they plug up the front of the net, and you have to get the shots on your initial rush. They'll force you wide, and if you play wide and if you stay wide, their people get back into position. You think on one hand, I got great possession, but on the other hand, what they're doing is taking away the good ice.
Okay, first question, Andrew from Massapequa, you're on.
Yeah, hi guys, how you doing? I got one question for you. How come you never protested the call in the second and third game about like Brad Dalgarno laying on the ice, and also just the too many men and the offsides on Brunet?
All three were protested. We didn't have a chance to let you know or let the public know, but internally they were protested, and Al Arbor took that upon himself. So
who did you protest to?
To the supervisor.
And what did he say? What was his answer?
Well, he met with Al privately. Al explained all three situations. In fact, if you remember the game, Al called the referee, Kerry Fraser, over to the bench and asked why, if Dalgarno remains on the ice as they score a goal, Brisebois remains on the ice when we've got a great opportunity, the whistle's blowing in one hand and not in the other.
What was his answer?
His answer was that he didn't, I believe it was, he didn't agree with the call the night before.
Do you agree it was a phony answer?
Well, my feeling is it's got to be one way or the other way. You can't have it one way one night and the other way the other night.
Okay, Dan from Oceanside, you're on.
Hello, gentlemen.
Okay, what's the question?
Darcy, I'd like to know, who can we expect to step it up tonight, and what kind of pace are we going to see this evening?
Well, I think you'll see a very good pace. Obviously, we're in a situation where everyone's going to be going for it, and I think you'll see guys like King, Hogue, Thomas, and Turgeon, all the big guns, Ray Ferraro, they'll all be going tonight.
Okay, Alan from Wantoy, you're on.
Hi, guys. How you doing?
Okay.
Question for you. When the Canadian wingers come down the boards, why do the Islander defensemen just ride them around, allowing them to center the puck? Why not take the body completely out of the play?
Well, I think that's the intention. I'm not sure which play you're referring to. Obviously, there's always times when guys get ridden out, at times guys are missed, but the objective is to ride them out of the play.
Let me ask you this. Al Arbor made some scathing comments after the last game about the league or CBC wanting an all-Canadian final. What's your feeling about that right now, and do you think there's going to be action from the league?
I really don't know what CBC wants. Those are comments you'd have to ask Al about. And to my knowledge, we have not yet heard anything from the league.
I said in the pregame show earlier that the officiating has been stinko from the start of the playoffs, not only here but right across the board. Your feelings?
Well, my feelings are, I think we spoke about it other times of the year, is what you're looking for is consistency. Players have to know what is going to be called, what won't be called.
Okay, Darius, thanks very much for coming. Coming up next, we have how 1 + 1 could mean victory.
The Montreal Canadiens, we've labeled this one shift at a time, the night shift, if you will. In order for the Islanders to be successful, you went through on Westfall's way, getting around that Montreal defense. It doesn't really begin there from the drop of the puck. Possession of the puck, and then what happens?
It's intensity as well as anything, Jiggs. The Islanders know that they have to play their best hockey game because they played everything, and they have played wonderfully well. Montreal is a special hockey club, but they do certain things that the Islanders are going to have to overcome, and that Westfall's way showed some of the people that got to see it just how well they protect the front of the net. You remember in Game 4 against the Pittsburgh Penguins, we were talking about the fact that they got to the net, they bumped into the goaltender a little bit, they threw Tom Barrasso off, his timing seemed to get a little bit, he got upset personally because players were in his face a little more. Islanders are going to have to do somewhat of the same thing.
Why haven't they been able to get to Watt thus far?
So far, I would have to say that they haven't used the speed that they possess. And when they're in the end with the puck in possession, they give it up maybe a little too easy. They're not trying to do this, folks, but that's the way it happens, and the other team is doing a good job. They've got to get to the puck. They get the puck to the net, and they got to get bodies to the net at the same time. So often you see a shot go to the net, Waugh handles it, freezes it, hangs on to whatever, but there's no Islanders there. So they've got to get through the crack through that defense that the Montreal Canadiens have put up when they don't have the puck. Just get to the net.
wondering about the controversy or whatever surrounding Game 2 and Game 3, the calls or lack of calls. That can't be going through anybody's mind right now, can it?
It has no significance on what's going to happen in this hockey game, and the players don't think about it.
All right, I'm sure the fans have got some ideas about it. This capacity crowd, of course, will have the building rocking in just a few minutes. Stan Fischler has been on assignment down by the doorways where fans have been coming from the parking lot, entering the arena for tonight. Let's see how they're feeling about this hockey game. Stanley?
Thanks, Jiggs. I'm in the concourse here at Nassau Coliseum. A lot of fans here have varying opinions on what's going to happen tonight. Not whether the Islanders are going to win or not, but how they're going to do it. We'll get some opinions. How do you think the Isles are going to win tonight?
How much is guts and desire worth? We'll see it tonight. Watch.
What do you think the Isles have to do to win this game?
Take the opportunity in hand, score some goals, and score in a power play.
What do you think the Isles have to do to win tonight?
We got to score on the power play, we got to get the big goals, and the ref has to call things our way.
Do you think they have a chance to do it?
Hey, they did it once before, they could do it again. Like to see them do it. I'm here to see it.
If you're Al Arbo, what kind of strategy do you think they should have?
Just put more movement to the net, try to get some goals past Wah.
You think they got a chance?
They got to hit hard and go all out. Let's go Isles, baby.
What do you think?
Play the body. They have to play the body.
Okay, Jiggs, that's it. The fans think the Isles can do it. Now the question is whether they can do it. You hear them all. Take it away, Jiggs.
Yeah, we'll find out in just a little while, Stan. None of the fans wrong. There's a lot of good individual points.
You've got to know. They know what they're talking about. They watch, they listen, they understand.
Oh, do they ever. Now, as we get ready for this fourth game, you can drag out all the cliches you want about backs up against the wall, no tomorrow, do or die. Which one do you like best?
Well, I just think it's a guts drive. I think every player has to dig down. He's got to ask himself, how much does it mean? Does it mean that much that I'm willing to give as much as I can? Am I going to give as much as the guy sitting next to me in the dressing room right now?
Well, Montreal swept Buffalo in order to get here. They're on the verge of sweeping the New York Islanders. The Islanders, you know, will have a lot to say about that. That's it for the pregame show tonight. Game 4 is just around the corner.
We're not too happy down 3 games, but nothing's over. You know, it's a long way to go. Saturday's going to be a long game.
We have a lot of character in the room. We got a lot of hard-working players, and I think that although our backs are up against the wall, we're going to respond. We have in the past, and we will this time.
If we have developed one thing in the postseason this year, it's a never-say-die attitude, and I think even though those overtime losses are tough, I think we have a pretty good shot at winning our next game, and then they still have to win one.
We're still a very confident team. We're not down at all, I don't think. You know, in the playoffs, you can't afford to get down after a loss or the situation we're in. The fourth game is the hardest to win, and we're looking forward to next game with coming out with a lot of fire. We're going to make it real tough on them.
The enthusiasm remains high, players and fans alike. The fat lady hasn't been seen trying to get into the Coliseum either. Game 4 is next.
There's Thomas. He scores! Kasparaitis with the hip check. Fell into the backhand. He scores! Flatley! Chance for the Sabres. Oh, with a stop by Healy. Derek King dances in. A backhander. He scores! Backhander by King. The rebound. Volek scores! From the Nassau Veterans Memorial Coliseum in Uniondale, New York, here comes Game 4 of the Prince of Wales Conference Championship round between the New York Islanders and the Montreal Canadiens. Montreal leads the best-of-7 series, 3 games to none. It's on the line for the Islanders tonight in order to force Game 5. 6, 7, they've got to start winning, and it's something they haven't been able to do, although they have outplayed Montreal in a couple of areas, haven't been able to outscore them in overtime here, and thus are down 3-0.
Let the tough games begin, I suppose. The Islanders have to win. That's, I suppose, everybody realizes that, but the Islanders, they have played well. They've outplayed Montreal at times. They just haven't been able to get the good scoring chances, Jiggs, and they've got to start. We've talked about it several times in the Islander pregame show. they've got to get to the net. They've got to create rebounds. They've got to create those deflections, and that's the way they're going to get goals beyond Patrick Waugh.
One lineup change for the Islanders tonight. Defenseman Jeff Norton gets back into play. Tom Curvers will not dress for this game. What does that say to you?
I suppose they've got to try something else. Tom Curvers has played well, but the power play hasn't worked. Tom Curvers has a responsibility on the power play, so has Jeff Norton. And so they're going to let Jeff Norton try it this time.
Now for Mighty Muffler, let's take a look at what we consider to be the Montreal story. And number one is taking it to another level. They have in the record book 10 team Stanley Cup playoff records, a dozen or more records that they hold individually or have been tied by others. And they're going for a record 12 straight wins in one playoff year here tonight. The kill, not so much the sweep of the Islanders if they can pull that off, but the way they've killed the Islander power play, allowing only 1 goal on 16 opportunities. They gave up 5 in 20 chances against Buffalo, gave up 4 in 18 against Quebec in the opening round. And number 3, King Patrick. King being the English translation of the word or the name Waugh. So you can take that either way you want, but he has been king, allowing the Islanders only 5 goals on 95 shots and a 1.38 goals against in this series.
The number 2 one is significant, Jiggs. As a matter of fact, they all are, but when you think of the fact that the Islanders, while they can't do anything at even strength, they've got to do something on the power play, and that's evaded them all through this postseason. They're going to need it tonight. It's the last chance they'll get.
Here are the Islander stories, also brought to you by Meineke Muffler. And point number 1 for the Islanders is history. It's not fair, perhaps, to ask this team to draw from history of 75 or past performances by Islander teams, but they've already written chapters 1 and 2 in 93. Why not another chapter? One at a time. Each shift, each period, each opportunity. So many missed chances by this team, and people who have missed opportunities like Derek King, Benoit, Hogue, Steve Thomas, even Ray Ferraro and Tommy Fitzgerald come to mind as well. And point 3, win at home. The late Dick Urban, who's one of the most successful coaches in the history of the NHL, always maintained that if you were to lose a playoff series, that was one thing, but never lose your last game at home. Always win your last game at home. Well, here's an opportunity.
It is, and the Islanders have 5 wins and 2 losses on this ice here at the Nassau Veterans Memorial Coliseum, but it's up to them. The history, well, players can be afraid of history. It can do them in, or they can draw from it. That's up to the individual. So I think that the Islanders individually will take whatever they can to keep themselves up and playing the best hockey they can.
Let's take a quick glance at the watch. Little stalling going on tonight. In the game here the other evening, in fact, in the games in Montreal, 1 and 2 in this series, by now, one, if not both teams, were already out on the ice. Is it a stall tactic on the part of Coach Al Arbour?
It could be. You never know with Al Arbour. He may just have some extra words for the players. I see now over your shoulder the referees, the linesmen coming out onto the ice. Yes, Al Arbour's been known to do that in the past. As a player, I remember him doing that deliberately, not so much for the other team, but for his own team.
For British Airways, quick look at the series story. British Airways, the world's favorite airline with daily non-stops to London. Let's listen as the Islanders are on the way from the dressing room. They'll be seen by the crowd just about now. Many said would be hard-pressed to make the playoffs. And then when they did end up in the playoffs, the skeptics said, well, they don't have much of a chance against Washington. They're such a good defensive team, and the Islanders couldn't win at home against Washington all season. They finished off Washington in 6, but were given little, if any, chance against the Pittsburgh Penguins. That series took overtime in Game 7, and now they're in a hole, a big one, down 3 games to none with the Montreal Canadiens.
The players don't want to hear about it, Jiggs, but fatigue has to be a factor. You have to think that some of the players playing in their uniforms of the New York Islanders this season haven't played this much hockey in their lifetime. And to play it under the circumstances that they've played it, and Al Arbour, as he comes out onto the ice, has coached it. Remember, they had 6 games in their last 9 nights, and they played every other night, since.
Should have worn my 101 Dalmatians tie, as this is the 101st meaningful game for the Islanders this season, and we'll be back for the opening face-off after this.
Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, sing twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Thank you, Joel. Settle back and enjoy the only game in town. Game 4 of the conference championship. Here are the goaltenders.
Who else but Patrick Waugh in goal for the Montreal Canadiens, currently leading the NHL with a goals against average of .210. He leads them in league with 11 wins, and he's second in save percentage, 9.32.
And no change for the New York Islanders. Glenn Healy, 30 years of age. There's his record on the playoffs of 93, of 3.22 goals against average, making his 28th career start. He'll be to the right, the Canadiens to the left, and the game will be refereed by Dan Merriwelli. Evan Collins and Ron Finn will work the lines again tonight. As the Islanders send Tom Fitzgerald to center ice, Claude Loiselle is on the left, Brad Delgarno on the right. Kirk Muller leans in and wins the draw for the Canadiens. Low line, checked off the puck by Delgarno, and quickly Mathieu Schneider gets to it. Schneider up the left side, then Delgarno took Schneider into the boards following the pass. Over the line to the Islander line, a shot kicked aside by Healy. Delgarno stepped in front of Muller. Malakhov had the puck bounce over his stick, gets to it again, lifts it to the line. Schneider knocked it down, dumped it to the side of the net, and Healy covers and holds on. Vaske had his arm wrapped around Brian Bellows' stick. He did not have a hold of the stick with his hand.
I think with all the talk, we have to be sure that we keep it in the right perspective. When you're talking about a team playing it a shift at a time, it's not a matter of going all out, hell-bent, just tearing around the ice. The Islanders have to be smart, they have to be patient, they have to put a lot of energy, but a lot of thought into their game.
And a look at Jacques Demers, the coach of the Canadiens. Muller on the draw, and it comes back to Schneider. Fires into the top of the pads, and Glenn Healy right up on the top of the face-off, or excuse me, the goal crease. Blocked that. Now Al Arbor, who's had the media and the officials buzzing here the last couple of days after his comments following Game 3 about there being a set of rules for the Canadiens and one for the Islanders. Or everybody else, I guess is what he said.
I haven't heard that for a long time. That used to be used a great deal. Al Arbor dragging one of the old cliches out of the closet.
And they're going to use Alzheimer's, too. Glad he remembered there was a game tonight. Malakhov gets the Islanders out of the zone with a pass to Delgarno. On to Fitzgerald. Tommy Fitzgerald trying to work around Schneider, and the shot turned aside by Waugh. Up with it, Schneider. Muller, one hands it towards center ice. Vaske back to the Islanders. Overled Fitzgerald. Here is Kirk Muller. Muller blocked a hard shot in Game 3. Doesn't seem to have any ill effects. Schneider dumps the puck in. Healy out to handle it. Shot it off Malakhov. Vladimir Malakhov, the 24-year-old Russian defenseman, up ahead, too far for Turgeon, but it's handled by Waugh. Missed it off, Benoit around to the left side for Brunet. Brunet, the Ronan. He has Carbonell with him here on the right side. They've got the Carbonell line out against Turgeon, Thomas, and McGinnis. Norton takes his man to the corner. The puck came out to Brunet. They're up ahead by Turgeon to Thomas. McGinnis chases the puck. Turgeon with him. And quickly, they choke off Turgeon at the Montreal blue line. A minute and a half into the opening period, waiting for the opening goal of the game. Daniel with a pass that's tipped out into center ice. Back for it is Norton. Left side to McGinnis. Got it in, right to Waugh. Daniel to handle it. Losing the boards, he banked it off Ronan out towards center ice, and it's handled by Krupp. Up the middle to Norton, who's tipped it in. Thomas races in after. Daniel gets back. The puck hit a stick that was on the ice, and Daniel handles it down. Daniel to Guy Carbonell, flips it up high, and Healy drops it off. Canadiens in the middle of a change. Marty McGinnis to the blue line. The pass into the middle off Turgeon's stick. He picks it up again. Turgeon had his shot blocked. One man stepped in front of him, so the Canadiens just wheel it out of the zone, and Pilon will flip it back in. Both scored. First man back for Montreal is Kevin Haller. Heller and Desjardins, the defense combination, as we watch Ferraro with Hogue and Flatley. Flatley broke up the play at the Montreal line, but couldn't recover the puck. Canadiens give it away. Kasparaitis can't get across the line. Now he'll have to turn it back again as Hogue had fallen. The Islanders avoid the offside, but the Canadiens get the puck in the cross-ice pass by Keane. Nice centering pass. It didn't arrive in time for the Canadian player. Up the round is Domfus. He had made the original play. He's out with DiPietro and Keane as we watch Kasparaitis lead the rush. Here's Kasparaitis. Benoit Hogue fires. No further play. Patrick Roy has that safely tucked away.
It's as if he had a catching glove on the top of his pads. What a stop by Patrick Roy. He drops down. Normally you look for a rebound coming off his pads, but he traps the puck that way. Hogue shot. Here, Darius Kasparaitis loses it in center ice. This is coming back the other way. The Montreal Canadiens trying to set up a 2-on-1. There was the pass across to the far side. And the Islanders come back. That's Kasparaitis once again. Carries a lot of mail for the Islanders. There's the drop pass and the shot. And you get a look at what Patrick Roy had a look at. The puck sailing off the stick of Hogue.
Kasparaitis hasn't really gotten anybody mad at him in this series like he did with Washington or with Pittsburgh. Nobody upset.
Not a star per se. Montreal is such a well-balanced team as Demir, very animated, talking to the players. There isn't any one particular player for him to attack. They draw that kind of wrath from.
Here's Savard getting the puck into the Islanders' zone where Vaske checked him, and David Volek moves it to Malakhov. Vladimir Malakhov over center, long shot wide of Roy. King on the rebound, drilled it high and wide as it came off the end board smartly. Volek sets up Malakhov. Vladimir from the blue line fires off the stick and wide. David Volek with it down. Volek got checked by Schneider. Turgeon feeds the point for Vaske. Dennis Vaske shot blocked by Savard. It'll be picked up at center ice. Vaske gives it to Malakhov. Leon went into forecheck, and now Volek had a little trouble handling the bouncing puck. Behind the net, Malakhov. Gave it to Volek. Back to Malakhov. Long pass to King standing on the left wing boards. He comes over center with three Canadiens back. Faked the shot. Then dumps it in. Borderline went to him, and the Canadiens send Mathieu Schneider back to handle it. On the far boards and out towards center, Krupp takes over for the Islanders, gives it to Norton. He played just over 4 minutes in the opening period. There is no score, and the Canadiens come up 2-on-1. Here's LeClair, held it, shot just wide. That'll bounce out towards center ice and shot right back in again by J.J. Desjardins.
See the patience of the Montreal Canadiens, Jiggs. They just waited for the Islanders to make one mistake in the center ice area, and they had a 2-on-1 break.
Now the Islanders into the Canadian zone, but not for very long as Daniel blocked the shot, and Norton will come back with the puck. Jeff Norton lowered his head to get away from John LeClair. Played the puck away from Muller to Fitzgerald up to Loiselle, who couldn't butt it out of the air. And Daniel drops back for the Canadiens. Down the boards, pinching in his Krupp. Krupp frees the puck. Delgarno to Loiselle, up to the slot. It's loose. Fitzgerald gets to it. Johnny Fitzgerald backhands it toward Delgarno. He steps out of the corner, centering pass right across the front of the net. Here's Kasparaitis. To Delgarno. And Delgarno sets up Claude Loiselle. His shot is juggled and off the catching glove of Roy. The Canadiens cleared the boards, but there's Delgarno. And center it to a teammate, and Brisbois leads it out to the right side for Bellows. Into the middle for Muller. Three Islanders back. Muller drop pass, and a shot from LeClair misses the target. The Islanders are out shooting the Canadiens 3-2. There is no score. Here Turgeon dumps the puck in. The Canadiens will get it out. Desjardins up to Ed Ronan. Ronan off right wing, and a shot went off the stick of Vaske. Brunet puts it back of the net. Ronan just now getting back on his skates after a collision with Pilon. Ronan bumps Kasparaitis. The puck centered out in front. Brunet, after taking it from Carbonneau, couldn't shoot it. And Turgeon steps over center ice into the Montreal zone with Thomas going to the front of the net. Thomas peeled off. In comes McGinnis. Thomas cross ice. Vaske jumps up to the puck. Puts it behind, or at least tried to, and then it was grabbed and held by Roy. He played nearly 6 minutes of the opening period. All set for the face-off that's won by the Islanders, and Malakhov shot from the right boards. Deflected, Roy to play it. Flatley knocked it away from him. Patrick Flatley off the skates of Roy is able to cover it. Hogue had driven to the side of the net, seemed to distract Patrick Roy for a moment.
what the Islanders have to do. They've got to be around. They've got to be in the face, if you will, of Patrick Waugh. They've got to keep the puck moving to the net. They've got to have players around the net, deflecting it, poking away at it, try and get the concentration of the goaltender, Patrick Waugh. There, as the puck dribbles around, look at how well Montreal cover. Every Islander has a Montreal Canadian player glued to him.
Once more, it's Hogue on the draw. Muller for the Canadiens, got it to the right wing boards. Hogue steps in front of Muller. Vaske comes in, and the Canadiens are able to clear it out. John LeClair chases it. Malakhov back is stripped by LeClair, and he couldn't pick it up again. Vladimir Malakhov takes LeClair to the boards. The Canadiens regain control of the puck. LeClair centered to Muller, steps from back of the net, one-handed it in front of the goal and steered aside. Bellows in a battle with Flatley as we watch Ferraro play it around the board. This is Benoit. Hogue up ahead is Flatley. Ferraro jumps up as the pass went to Vaske, and he's dumped it in, but Odeline will clear that right to Hogue. Now to Ferraro, looks to Krupp. Ferraro held it, centers to the side of the net. Tried to get it back from Benoit Hogue, and it didn't work. Canadiens forcing the Islanders to center. Norton to Ferraro. Ray Ferraro. Hogue, then to Flatley, to Ferraro, back to Krupp, shoots from the blue line, just went wide, bounces off the back of the net for Flatley. Unable to center it cleanly, get a second chance, and the puck is knocked away. Mathieu Schneider clears the zone, and Keane will come to center. The Canadiens move up 3-on-2. Here's Donfus on right wing. Vincent Donfus turning on Norton, who took him down. There will be a penalty. Jeff Norton for holding, and the Canadiens go to the power play right after this break.
First penalty of the hockey game. Jeff Norton watches left hand. He reaches out, grabs this jersey of Vincent Donfus. I guess if you're going to pull a player down, pull down one of the best. But he got caught doing it. Montreal go to the power play.
And in this series with the Islanders, they are 1 for 17. While we talked about the Islander power play not doing much, you can say ditto for Montreal.
Exactly. The only difference is that they've got 3 wins, and the Islanders have yet to get one.
Canadiens come up the left wing boards. Outside pass to Bellows. He was onside. Healy made the save as the puck came off Kasparaitis. Jostling and pushing with Muller in front of the Islander goal, but nothing too serious. Still 12 minutes and 28 seconds remaining in the opening period. This is the first penalty of the game to Norton. Jacques Demers has Muller, with Donfus and Bellows as his power play unit.
Jacques Demers called me over as we were down in the hallway before the teams, as they were getting ready before they come out on the ice. He said, "Hey Ed, did you get our scratches?" I said, "No, what are they?" He said, "Muller."
Did he really?
Yeah. In reference to the other night when the rumor was so strong that Kirk Muller was not going to be dressed, not able to play.
Here the Islanders have dumped the puck the length of the ice, and Muller is certainly in the game. The Canadiens set it up. Muller went to the left wing boards. Bellows comes up the right side and the hard around off the stick of Desjardins. Through Healy, but Pilon is there to Flatley, and down the ice it goes. Minute and 10 seconds remaining in the penalty on Jeff Norton. Eric Desjardins brings it out for Montreal. Around the boards, Healy slowed it up. Vaske takes the man, but the Canadiens get to the puck. Kirk Muller into Haller, who's jumped in on the play. The defenseman shoots. That's blocked in front off the skates of Huey Krupp. Banked up ahead, and Mullen slaps it off the boards. It'll bounce right to Patrick Waugh. 45 seconds in the Montreal power play. Muller took the pass at center to Donfus, but Fitzgerald came back to clear it. Schneider went back, but Waugh elects to play it up to center for Keane, who goes cross ice. Healy moves out of the net, plays it around toward Darius Kasparaitis. Flipped the puck toward Hogue, but it hit Keane. Krupp tries the other side of the ice. Everybody in a red uniform had pulled to the right, so the lane was wide open. Now 19 seconds of the penalty against Norton. Kasparaitis hit Keane solidly at the blue line. And the puck onto the stick of Hogue, who gets it to center. Dumps it down the ice just as Norton stands on his skates now with 6 seconds left in the power play for Montreal. Keane over center. Banked it off the left wing boards. That's cleared up by Pilon. They ruled that Keane did hold it in at the line, however, and the teams are at 6 aside. 1 shot on goal for Montreal during the power play. The Islanders are going to be called for having iced the puck. If you haven't yet made that call to the folks at Probert, please do so. Probert stands over 2 feet tall, comes complete with an authentic NHL uniform, and operators are standing by to take your calls tonight. There's the address on the screen, and you can call 1-800-PROBEAR, 1-800-PROBEAR. Most major credit cards are accepted. New York and New Jersey residents at appropriate sales tax for Probert. You can name him or her anything you want and get it in a uniform of your choice. Any one of the NHL uniforms available from Probert. Comes with sticks, skates, gloves, and great hockey sense.
I made mine into a right-handed shooter.
Did you really?
Oh, yeah.
How'd you do that?
Well, I just changed his gloves around a little bit, changed his stick around a little bit. Now he looks like, you know, like a right-handed shooter.
Forward, defenseman.
Mario's a right-handed shooter.
Oh, I see. Turgeon up the slot, but the shot is tipped and out of play. A great way to reward yourself after the game is with the fresh, pure, natural taste of a nice cold Budweiser. Proud to be your bud.
Of course, so is Guy Lafleur.
Yeah. Then again, so was, well.
But my Probert is about this. He's got about the same speed as I had when I played.
Now, wait a minute.
He stands up better, though.
He looks much better in uniform.
Oh,
Is
yeah.
that your next one?
Yeah, and probably he'll have more fun on road trips.
Norton to Krupp. Back to Norton, and the Islanders into the center ice area where Carbonneau blocked the pass, but now Krupp feeds it on towards Steve Thomas. Off the boards. Canadiens back on the puck quickly as Lyle Loiselle look for Carbonneau. The Islanders pinch in, but the Canadiens are able to get it out of there. Ronan flipped it into the Islanders zone, and Krupp looks to the right wing board. Picked up by Brunet, and then made the pass to Thomas. Too far for Norton. Derek King trying to get away from Ronan at center. Turgeon is checked. Norton has it at the Islander line. Got it right back from Krupp. Jeff Norton to Krupp. But King waiting on the left wing boards. The pass off his skates, and King came over to knock it away from Odeline. And Savard plays it up ahead. Islanders nothing, Canadiens nothing. 9.5 minutes remaining in the first period. This is Steve Thomas. Benoit Hogue. Right side to Krupp. On pass to Norton. Had to reach back for it. Jeff Norton dumps it in. And Haller will pick it up. The Islanders in the middle of the player chain. Haller up the boards, pinching it is Flatley. The puck come off Hogue's stick, and the Canadiens start out of the zone. Desjardins on to Belanger, was poked away from him, and dumped wide off the stick of Gilbert Dion. This is Vladimir Malakhov. On pass to Hogue. He and Flatley over the Montreal line. Hogue drops it off. The captain fires. Waugh, the save, and there's no further play. You're watching Game 4 of the Prince of Wales Conference Championship on SportsChannel. And Hogue is beaten on the draw. That's something that the Islanders have been very successful on in this series. Haven't won very many faceoffs.
They haven't, Jiggs, and one of the players that needs to step up very big for the Islanders in this game is number 33, Benoit Hogue.
Flatley has played the puck off the end boards, off the net as well, and here's Hogue trying to center it for Flatley. Ferraro to the front of the net. Ferraro holds it. Waugh down. Flatley with the rebound, and it's just been that typical throughout the series. A goal post and then no rebound when it was there, it seemed, and taken away quickly. The Canadiens have iced the puck in a big collision. Malakhov down on the ice, and he is shaken up, and the Islanders go after the Canadiens on this particular play. Gilbert Dion, who had hit him, is being pushed away by linesman Ron Finn. Think back, if you will. Malakhov had a shoulder injury this season. Kept him out of the lineup for a long period of time. And Ed Tyberski looks for him right now.
He's susceptible to more injuries. Here's the puck. It's going for an icing. Malakhov reaches out to touch it. He gets pushed. Somewhat of a cross-check coming from Gilbert Dion. A routine icing. Just going to touch it. Then he gets shoved as he's, look at his right arm. You can only hope that it's not his shoulder again. That's similar to the way Pierre Turgeon fell into the boards when he was mugged by Dale Hunter. You don't expect it. You're going in, touch the puck. If it's a foot race, and in this case, Dion, if he can beat him to the puck, that's one thing. He gets a charging penalty. The Islanders could lose Vladimir Malakhov. Jiggs, I think Malakhov has been playing a lot of hockey. He's not used to playing this much hockey. He's one of the players, and he's very tired.
Yeah, this has been almost 3 seasons of European hockey. Vladimir with Dion in the penalty box. They're assisting Malakhov now toward the Islander dressing room, and it doesn't look good, folks.
Looks like his left leg is what's hurting him, Jiggs. It appeared as if maybe his arm, but it's his left leg. There he is, hobbling now. Trying to get to the Islanders dressing room. Watch the left leg here, there. That's what he's hurt. There, as it goes into the boards. Oh, I know what it is. He's hyperextended it, and it's been a twist of the knee. That's where he's been injured. You can see his leg snap back, his left leg, as he went out of control into the boards. That's a cheap shot. That's what we used to call it as hockey players. When somebody did that to you on an automatic icing, the player knows he's not going to get to the puck, and it's going to be called for icing, and he gives you a shot when you're 4 or 5 feet from the boards. What happens is that you're out of control. There's no room for you to dig your skates in and stop yourself, so you fly into the boards. This is normal speed. You can see how heavily he fell into the boards. He was staying just ahead of Dion.
Now the Islanders on the power play. We have Norton and Huey Krupp at the points. Norton with the puck. The pass, actually a shot, was picked off and shot down the ice by Mathieu Schneider. The Islanders have Turgeon, Volek, and Delgarno as the forwards. Norton rushing out of the zone. Looks to make the play. The pass is to Krupp. The defenseman in on the right wing boards. Puts it back in the net. Here's Volek. In behind the goal again to Turgeon. Krupp closes in and his shot went wide. Nice setup by Turgeon. Norton around the boards for Turgeon. Delgarno. Delgarno check, but Turgeon feeds the puck back from the blue line. Norton sets up Krupp. Huey Krupp's long shot wide of the net. Norton races it after it. Jeff Norton doubled it around the boards. It comes right back to Norton. Knocked down as he gave it to Volek. Turgeon to the front of the net. They couldn't get the puck to him in time. Carbonneau looks to make the play, then fed it to Schneider, and out of the zone it goes. All of that action will end up with a whistle as the puck ends up in the seats. And the clock shows just a little over a minute remaining in the penalty against Gilbert Dion.
And so far the Islanders haven't been able to crack that defensive posture of the penalty killers of Montreal. A lot of action on the outside, but still not able to get the puck to the front of the net, get a rebound, get a good shot away. There's Guy Carbonneau having a good series against the Islanders. There's the Islanders behind the net. Turgeon, there's the pass. That shot was wide. Huey Krupp trying to move down, trying to add some offense to the power play.
Turgeon has King to the left, Thomas to the right, as this line that was together almost the entire season is reunited now. Ball start on the draw as Kevin Collins didn't put the puck in play. Talking about penalty killing at power plays, thanks to Ray Benza and the guys at Entertainment Technology tomorrow. The satellite was working again last night. So was the LA power play. So was Toronto. These two teams had it cranked up. Norton at the right point to Thomas on the right side. Fires, hit the outside of the net. Krupp races it after it. Didn't get there in time, and Muller clears it for Montreal. Kurt Muller squeezed to the boards by Thomas. Muller protected the puck, then spun it across. Krupp steps in front of Keane, and the Islanders break out. Thomas down the right side. Thomas trying to go wide on Desjardins. Pulls up, gave the puck to Norton. Back to the net to Turgeon. Out in front, King's shot was denied. Here's Norton. One shot thus far. Turgeon trying to set up King again. It got through him. Norton with 10 seconds in the power play. Around the boards. Excuse me, make it 13 now. And King jabbing at it. Got it to Krupp. To King. To Turgeon back to the net. Looks for somebody in front. King had been knocked down. Turgeon slaps it off the side of Patrick Roy. Dives out to cover it with 2 seconds in the Islander power play.
You can see what Pierre Turgeon was trying to do after he couldn't get it to an Islander standing around in front of the net. Tried to bounce it off some of the players in front and deflect it in behind Patrick Roy. Al Arbour sees that it wasn't working, sees that the power play hasn't worked. Watch the action. King from behind. There's a cross-check on him. That was overlooked by the referee. Time to try anything and everything. Al Arbour checking off his list of whatever it is, sometimes Montreal players that he thinks may be coming out when this penalty is over, which it only has a few seconds
to go.
2 ticks of the clock, all that's left. Ferraro in the middle now with Hogue on the left, Flatley on the right. The Islanders get the draw. Rich Pilon to Flatley, went off his stick. Kasparaitis lets it go. Blocked by Waugh. Out in front. Here's Ferraro, and his shot was steered wide. Teams at 6 aside again. Flatley for the Islanders. With Ferraro standing back in the net. Centers. Kasparaitis couldn't get it through. Jumped up on the play smartly. Here's Flatley. He's checked, and the Canadiens come up 2-on-1. DiPietro down the right side, into the middle, and the shot blocked by Krupp. Daniel puts it off the side of the net. It was Daniel who had jumped up the middle for Montreal originally. Under 6 minutes remaining in a scoreless first period. Canadiens trying to catch the Islanders in a player change. Odeline, he likes to just dump it into the Islanders zone, and now Montreal starts to make some changes. Vaske around to the right side. Puck went through Marty McGuinness. The Canadiens held it onside and dumped it back to the net for Domfus. Krupp picks him up, knocks him down. Here's Bellows. DiPietro. Fitzgerald checked him. The puck came to the side of the net, and now Bellows off the right wing boards, dumps it in. Fitzgerald flips it high in the air and out of play. Clock stopped with 5 minutes, 13 seconds remaining in this opening period.
Haven't talked too often in this playoff about what a lift it can be for a penalty-killing group to give a team the incentive. Here, Montreal just finished off killing the penalty, and here's a 3-on-1 break. Rich Pilon does a good job getting in front of the shot. There it is off the side of the net. The Islanders leaving themselves vulnerable. Down deep, trying to get a goal. Desperate. There are gambles that you can take, some of them calculated. That would be one that would be worth it if you thought that it was going to lead to a good scoring chance. There was a good scoring chance, Darius Kasparaitis, but he hit a defenseman in the leg standing in front of Patrick Waugh.
Now Jeff Norton, after rounding the net, dumps the puck out through center ice. Desjardins back, plays it into his own zone. Fitzgerald steps in, is met there by Dion. Center ice, the Canadiens dump the puck in. Savard chasing it. Norton there to knock it away to Mullen. Desjardins had stumbled a little, but Haller came over to help out. Off the boards to Denis. Savard. His pass to Dion, and then right to Pilon. It's loose. Dion gets it all alone. Walks in. Savard is wrong. What a stop by Glenn Healy. Just when you thought there wasn't one more to be made, he proves us wrong. We'll be back after this.
Another break for the Montreal Canadiens. Rich Pilon stripped of the puck, fell down. Dion, Savard, what a stop by Glenn Healy. Got his catching glove on it.
The Islanders are out shooting Montreal 7-4. The best stop of the night, that one right there by Glenn Healy. Watch the Canadiens move it around the boards. Vaske held it in. It's kicked back. Volek with a drive, and a big stop turned in by Patrick Waugh.
Just trying to get the puck on the net. He shot it directly into the chest protector of Patrick Waugh. David Volek, since being put back into the lineup, has done a very good job for himself and his teammates. Here he is, 25. There's his shot. Tried to use Turgeon, 77, as a screen. But Patrick Waugh, watch where he stands, positions himself. There's the puck coming in, more like a football, end over end, flipping. Waugh put the body in front of it, makes the stop. David Volek sees a good scoring chance, go as a shot on goal.
2-1, the Islanders out shooting the Canadiens in the period. 8-4 are the totals. Hogue with Flatley to the right, Ferraro to the left. Vaske and Kasparaitis on defense. Kurt Muller on the draw, beaten by Hogue. Vaske off the point, his shot tipped and not through. Flatley, however. And the Canadiens bank it off the boards and down the ice. This is rolling, and now lies flat, and Healy has to play it as it seemed to slow up, and LeClair had a chance to get there. Ferraro up to Flatley, trying to pull it away from the check of Bellows. The Canadiens dumping it in, and here's Kasparaitis. Muller on him. The puck comes loose for Vaske. And as Vaske clears the zone, it'll be shot right back in by Odeline. So Healy goes back in the net to cut it off. The exchange made with Kasparaitis. Into the skates of Hogue. Back to Kasparaitis, to Ferraro. Ray Ferraro hides it to the stick of Flatley. Goes to the open side. Nobody moving up for the Islanders, who are in the middle of the change now. And here's Brian Bellows just unloading into the Islanders zone. Jeff Norton trying to catch Montreal in their change. Steps over center, across the line. A penalty against Ferraro. He knocked a man down at the line. He didn't have the puck. Wasn't the last to touch it. Interference or trip Signaled by referee Marawelli.
Could go for interference, you're right, Jiggs, or a trip. Ray Ferraro trying to spring Norton as he came quickly down the left wing side. Took the feet out from underneath the player. Let's go down and see what Stan Fischler's got coming up for us.
Thank you, Eddie. My guest is going to be David Volek. I've been keeping track of face-offs, and the Islanders are leading right now 11-5 on body hits. It's 3-3 turnovers. Islanders 7, Canadiens 1. Canadiens are leading on 2-on-1s, 1-0, 3-on-1s, 1-0, and the Canadian shot blocking is 2-0. A little note here, Sam Schneider, the father of Mathieu Schneider, is here. He told me that he moves from seat to seat for good luck. We'll see what happens. Jiggs, Eddie?
I wonder how he does that. Well, I guess he's got his other son with him, hasn't he? I didn't think there were any empty ones here tonight. Sam Schneider, huh? So Montreal in the power play for the second time. They start out of the zone. Pass by Brisebois, went off Dion. Healy out of the net to play it. Off the glass and not out. Kevin Haller dumps it in deep. Donfus put it in front. Healy broke it up, and here's Pilon. A collision, and the net is off, and Mullen has a Canadian pinned on the ice right in front of goaltender Healy. That's Paul DiPietro in there somewhere. There he is.
Brian Mullen working him over pretty good with the stick as he laid on the ice. DiPietro must have been guilty of something in the eyes of Mullen. That's Donfus. There's the play chipped in front. Mullen bumped him into the goaltender Healy. Ooh, and then look at the stick work on the back of his head. Ouch.
Ryan Mullen goes unscathed. It's back to the Islander bench. Canadians with Donfus on the right. Bellows and Muller, the other forwards. DiPietro changing up here as you look at New York City native Brian Mullen.
When you think about it, the penalty killing, you touched on it earlier, Jiggs, when the Islanders were trying to kill off a penalty to Jeff Norton. They have done a very good job when you think of the contrast between the penalty killing during the regular season, which was less than average, and the power play, which was much better than average, and they've reversed roles.
Yeah, I'll say. Kasparaitis slams it down the boards. Patrick Roy will leave it for Mathieu Schneider. Muller turns, goes up the left wing. Schneider up the middle of the ice. The pass to Brisebois. Back to Schneider. Up ahead. Donfus checked at the Islander line, and Vaske clears it. The Canadians have to go back. A minute and 5 seconds remaining in Ferraro's tripping penalty now. Here's Bellows over center ice. Looked at Vaske. In a little deeper. Flatley checked him. Brisebois covers the point. Gave it to Schneider. Around the boards. Bellows waits back in the net. Now Donfus picks up the puck. His pass didn't go to a Canadian. Brian Muller is out of the Islander bench and gave it to Flatley. He's one-on-one with Brisebois. Donfus comes back. In comes Kasparaitis, and the Islanders can't control the puck. Vincent Donfus. Across to the left wing board. Schneider goes rink wide for Bellows. Donfus picks it up instead. Vincent Donfus parks in the corner. Makes the pass to Brisebois. To Schneider. Schneider shot it off Mullen. Kasparaitis steps into Muller. Kasparaitis hard up along the glass, but not out. This is Schneider. The Bellows, he gets checked. Kasparaitis, there's through the line, but not out again, and the Canadians dump it wide. It's Pilon. Backhands it high in the air this time, and down the ice. 6 seconds left now in the penalty against Ray Ferraro.
First time, a couple of times, the Islanders only got the thing up in the air 6.5 feet. That time, Darius, or it was Rich Pilon, got it a little more than 8 feet. That's enough to clear a hockey player's outstretched arm.
And no shots for the Canadians with the power play. They're over the line here. Ronan tight on the boards. His pass went off Thomas. Picked up by Pierre Turgeon. King goes to the right wing. Turgeon crisscrossing in the Montreal zone. Failed to hold on to the puck, and the Canadians clear it out. Jeff Norton waits, then dumps it in. The Islanders get the play onside as we reach the 19-minute mark of the opening period. Game 4. Islanders nothing, Canadians nothing. Norton has the puck at center, and a slash is detected by referee Marawelli. The penalty is on Steve Thomas. Islanders hockey is being brought to you by Mobile Super Unleaded Plus, the detergent gasoline.
Retaliatory measure by the Islanders. Steve Thomas slashing. Not a smart penalty for Thomas to take in the center ice area. 54 seconds remaining in the first period. He's mad. You can see him kicking at the boards. gives Montreal an opportunity to go to the dressing room one up. But the Islanders, again, doing a good job killing off the penalties. Montreal with Ferraro in the box for tripping. They did not get a shot on goal. When Norton was in the box earlier in the period, the 7-11 mark, they had one shot on goal. So maybe the Islanders aren't afraid to take a penalty here or there, but that's not a good one for Steve Thomas to take.
Linesman Ron Finn asking Tom Fitzgerald to hustle it up a little. He steps in to take the draw now. It's won by Muller, and Desjardins poked it back to Schneider. Schneider hard around the boards. Healy slows it up. Dennis Vaske back for the puck. A couple of Canadians around him. Domfus turned on him. Domfus to Ronan. Couldn't center it out. And he comes back toward the line. Schneider lifts it in. Krupp steps up on Kirk Muller. Gets the Islanders open at center. Over the line. Fitzgerald. It shoots. That went high and wide, but the whistle had sounded. The play was offside at the Montreal blue line.
Benoit Hogue didn't want to have to stop, and Tom Fitzgerald couldn't get him the puck at the time. Watching the top of your screen, there's Krupp as he passes it. Here, Tom Fitzgerald. Now, if he turns to the forehand and tries to pass it, it'll get picked off. There's Hogue as he steps across the line. Up at the top, a half a step. The whistle blowing it dead, but the noise in the crowd. Tom Fitzgerald didn't hear it, fired it over the net.
Then back to the series with the Pittsburgh Penguins and the two shorthanded goals in the same game on the same shift for Tom Fitzgerald. The Islanders could use something like that, a little tonic right now.
Absolutely, and it came in two different periods as well.
And the stage is set for him here. Thomas in the penalty box, and the clock down to 20 seconds. Left in this opening period, the puck slides right out in front of the net, and that'll be an icing call against Montreal. The Canadiens, under the direction of Jacques Demers, one game away from going to the Stanley Cup final, one win away, I should say. And once before in his coaching career, Jacques Demers had a team this far, the St. Louis Blues, up against the Calgary Flames in 1986. Calgary beat St. Louis in overtime in Game 6. And then Calgary beat St. Louis in Game 7 to go to the Stanley Cup final, denying Jacques Demers that first ever trip to the finals. And there's Jacques with his finger up along his left cheek. The other Jacques.
LeClair. Yes, he's been to the Stanley Cup finals a few times and won.
Vincent Domfus to Muller. Kasparaitis took his equal number. Feeds the puck along the boards to Brian Mullen, and we'll hear the horn now. End of period one with no score on the board.
Again, the Islanders do a wonderful job, a good job of playing the Montreal Canadiens. In the first period, they outshot them 8-4. They just couldn't get one by Patrick Waugh. They did have the best scoring opportunities.
Think of the stop that Glenn Healy made on Savard as well. He's got to be thinking about that. The rest of them thinking about their action and what lies ahead. That's the end of one period at the Nassau Coliseum, and the score is the New York Islanders 0, the Montreal Canadiens 0. Canadiens lead the series 3-0. Our first intermission right after this. Here's Stan with his guest.
Thanks very much, Jiggs. Well, we thought we'd get David Volek, but he has apparently a high-level conference going on with the rest of the team. Mark Fitzpatrick here. The first period, your reaction?
Well, I think it was a really tight first period. I think Rob made some great saves, and Healy made a great save, and you know, it's really close. It's you know, it's not wide open by no means, and it's a really tight checking game.
Now, from what we've seen so far in the game, the Islanders have been playing at least even with the Canadiens, out shooting them, but not beating Roy. Is it a matter of strategy? I mean, is there a way to beat Roy where he has a weakness as a goalie? What do you see?
Well, right now, Patrick Roy, he's proven that he is the best goalie in the NHL right now. You know, he didn't play well during the regular season, but you know, he's a big playoff goalie, and you know, he's won the Stanley Cup, you know, in '86 for him, and you know, he's certainly doing a great job right now.
One of the aspects that was hurtful to the Islanders in the period, they gave up a 2-on-1 and also a 3-on-1. How do you tighten up that part?
Well, we just got to bear down. You know, we certainly don't want to play a wide open game. You know, Montreal's got some good snipers out there on their team, so you know, we just want to play their game and you know, not give them too many good scoring opportunities, and just you know, keep back checking. Thanks very much for the insights. Thanks.
Jiggs?
All right, Stan, it was a very defensive opening period, 8-4. The shots favoring the Islanders. 0-0 on the board. We'll be back with more right after this.
We welcome you back to the Nassau Veterans Memorial Coliseum. We played the first period, and there's no score. The Islanders had chances, so did the Montreal Canadiens. Mobile's going to show us the highlights from the first period, some close calls, as I had just mentioned, by both teams. Let's take a look first at the Islanders. Ray Ferraro had a good scoring opportunity for the Islanders. There's Ferraro to the backhand, to the forehand, flipped it, and just as he flipped it, getting his glove in front of it, who else? Patrick Watt stripped Ray Ferraro of an opportunity to give his Islanders a 1-0 lead. The Islanders, a couple of power play opportunities. Down low, you see them looking. The pass in front. Darius Kasparaitis with a low shot. That was also taken away from him by Patrick Watt with the right pad. And here, Rich Pilon gets stripped of the puck, loses his balance, falls down. Dion grabs the puck, feeds it to Savard, and yes, it's 1-0. Oh no, not with Glenn Healy there. What a stop by Glenn Healy as he took it away from Denis Savard with his catching glove. Some of the action from the first period. We'll be back for the second period after you see these messages.
The second period with a man advantage for 1 minute and 5 seconds. There is no score in this game. Ray Ferraro's 13 goals continues to lead all the goal scorers in the spring of '93. He leads the Islanders with 19 points. Steve Thomas with 15. Gary King, Pierre Turgeon, Benoit, Hogue, and immediately back of those 5 would be Vladimir Malakhov and Patrick Flatley. The update for Snapple.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the New York Islanders, and it's intended solely for the private, non-commercial use of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, retransmission, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game without the express written consent of the Islanders and SportsChannel is prohibited. Tickets for the Wales Conference Finals are now on sale. A limited number of tickets are available for Game 6, if necessary, on Wednesday, May the 26th at 7:30 p.m. Tickets can be purchased at the Coliseum box office, Ticketmaster, or Ticketmaster charged by phone. Call them at 516-888-9000. Time is running out. Get them now.
Al Arbor with his team shorthanded. And also without Vladimir Malakhov for the last portion of the opening period, and Malakhov has not returned to the ice to start the second period. We're told he has a contusion of the knee and may be back, but did not come from the dressing room for the start of this period. The Islanders have been 0-3, 1975. Came back to defeat the Pittsburgh Penguins. Lost to the Philadelphia Flyers in the 7th and deciding game, as it turned out. In the 76 semifinals against Montreal, they staved off elimination. And in '85, the Patrick Division final against the Philadelphia Flyers, they did stave off elimination once. Never been swept in a 7-game series, and that's what's on the line here tonight. Montreal leading 3-0. Malakhov, we're told now, did come from the dressing room, skated, and went back. So Vladimir not available. The Islanders shorthanded as Muller turns on Hogue, and the puck handled by Fitzgerald, who's dumped it into the Canadian zone. Patrick Waugh will leave it for Mathieu Schneider. Brisebois up the right wing boards, as is Brian Bellows. Muller here on the left along with Domfus. A pass to Brisebois. Dumped it in. Healy left it back of the goal for Rich Pilon. Benoit Hogue, who's cleared it to center. Schneider came back, went to the right side with that pass. That's Brian Bellows across the Islander line. Hard pass off the boards for Domfus, poked away by Kasparaitis to Hogue, but he couldn't control it. Up the slot, Brisebois shot, blocked in front, big rebound. Canadian center, and it's drilled wide by Schneider. Mathieu Schneider drops it back. Bellows turned it over to Pilon, and slapped out of the air by Tom Fitzgerald. Quickly, the Canadiens get back over the line with a pass to Donfus. He shoots just wide of Healy, and Hogue clears it out and down the ice. 10 seconds in the power play for the Canadiens. Their third opportunity of the game. They've had one shot on goal, and David Volek steals a pass at center, steps into the Montreal zone. Volek into the high slot. Weak shot is turned aside by Brisebois, then Volek got decked. Play continues. The Canadiens come to the Islander line. Donfus cuts to the right wing boards. Muller to the side of the net was pushed at by Healy. Canadiens played around to the near side. Thomas couldn't get it. Daniel does. His shot is turned aside by Healy. Again, Donfus interfering with him in front of the net. Donfus and Krupp went to the boards. Krupp comes up with the puck. Around to the right side. Turgeon tips it away from Daniel, and the Canadiens hustle back. J.J. Daniel to the right side for Odeline. Into the zone they come. DiPietro put it in the corner. This is Gilbert Dion out in front to Keane. Centers. Healy steered it away from DiPietro. The Canadiens have picked up the attack at the beginning of the second period. Now the puck spins out of play.
They jumped off the end of the boards with some help, Jiggs. A penalty that lingered from the end of the first period into the start of the second on Steve Thomas. That helped Montreal get a jump start on the Islanders, and they've continued it here. Some good scoring chances by Montreal. A couple of them missed. 24-11 when facing playoff elimination. John Doolan making due note of that. It was in the year 1975, going back to that year when the Islanders came back from 3 down against Pittsburgh. It was either 8 or 9 times. I believe it was 8 times they survived, and on the 9th time they went down to defeat. There's some of the Islanders. Bill Smith on the left. Butch Goring as the camera closes in. Darcy Regier. And, of course, the general manager, Don Maloney.
Al Arbor has sent Tom Fitzgerald to center ice to take this draw that's won by DiPietro. Odeline off the right wing boards. And Healy reached out to clear that aside for Kasparaitis. Pinched into the boards. Up steps Ferraro. The pass toward Flatley. Flatley and Odeline go to the boards. In comes Fitzgerald. Flatley protected the puck. The pass toward Kasparaitis. He gets to it at the line. Darius Kasparaitis takes a hit from DiPietro, and Dion comes over center ice. Gilbert Dion shoots well wide of the net. Odeline covers the right point for Montreal. Back of the net to Dion. Centers it in front. Keane, a backhander, is blocked as he got spun around. The Islanders come out 3-on-2. Fitzgerald down the right wing boards. Norton trailing as Fitzgerald dumped it in. It gets through to Ferraro. He can't center it out in front. Tommy Fitzgerald puts it in deeper. Right to Odeline. Then to Fitzgerald. Now to Ferraro. On to Flatley. Flatley centering pass. Hit the skates of the Montreal defenseman. Pilon puts the puck back to the net. Ferraro goes in. There's Flatley with it. Flatley can't get it to Mullen. And the Canadiens break the zone. They come up 4-on-3. Dion with a pass that was behind Odeline. Now DiPietro dumps it in, and the Islanders hustle back. Canadiens in the middle of a change. And again, they get a lot of players in those changes. Ferraro up ahead to Thomas. He's over the line with a shot off the skates of Haller. Ed Roden banks it off the boards at center, and Vaske will drop back. Neither team has put the puck in the net tonight. This is Game 4 of the Conference Championship. Benoit Hogue. Excuse me, it is Thomas still out there with McGinnis and Turgeon now as Thomas drives over the Montreal line, but he didn't have the puck. McGinnis drops it back, and he is offside. We'll be right back. The off-ice officials again tonight from New Jersey, who worked the Devils games all season long. Oh boy, these guys are on hand. Loiselle, McGinnis, and Thomas pour into the Montreal zone after the puck was put back to the net. Big hit delivered by Thomas on Schneider. He has become a target, and there's going to be another penalty call. Kasparaitis back for the puck. The penalty is on Mathieu Schneider. And as the Canadiens control the puck at center, a high stick is signaled by referee Dan Morelli as he skates right at you. And off goes Schneider.
He saw Thomas coming, got the stick up into him. That's what drew the attention of Morelli and gives him a penalty. So here are the Islanders with another opportunity. Take a look. 27 is Schneider. Here comes Thomas around the net. There's the stick up. Boom, into the face of Steve Thomas. So the Islanders, another power play opportunity here in the second period. We played exactly 4 minutes. And the likable Matt Schneider in the penalty box.
The Islanders haven't had a shot on goal through the first 4 minutes of this second period. And one shot on goal in the first period while Dion was off for charging. And as you see, 1 for 17 on the power play during this series. Volek, Turgeon, and Delgarno with Krupp and Norton, the Islander players on the ice. Krupp blasted in around the boards, and here's David Volek. Volek trying to step away from Keane. Goes to the corner, trying to get the puck to Turgeon. He poked it in front. That's cleared aside by Muller, and Norton has to hustle back to center ice. Keane up to forecheck. Pass to Volek. Tipped away by Muller. Dirk Muller and Volek collide. Volek, after the hit on Muller, worked the puck neatly to Turgeon. Here Turgeon over the line, holds it, drops it back, but to nobody in a white uniform, and Keane shoots it down the ice.
That went off a skate and laid for the Montreal player just to shoot it down the ice. It's kind of things, when things don't go well, they get worse before they get better. But by now the Islanders should have bottomed out on the power play, and it should turn around.
Steve Thomas races it after a loose puck, but turned it over to Carbonneau. Carbonneau flips it high over the glass and out of play. 15:04 left in the period. More importantly, 1 minute and 3 seconds remaining in the penalty on Matt Schneider. Hero of Game 3 of this series for Montreal, the captain, Carbonneau, the game-winning goal at 1-2-3-4 of first overtime. 12 minutes, 34 seconds.
September Isles is where Guy Carbonneau hails from.
Seven Isles. September.
I'm not French. I guess, what is it?
7 Islands. September. Ferraro with Thomas and Hogue, Krupp and Norton. And putting up some noise as Ferraro ties up Carbonneau. Norton at the right point. Over to Krupp, fires off a skate and cleared out by Guy Carbonneau. Louis Krupp is being chased here by Brunet as he went back to the puck. Krupp looks to Ferraro, carries the puck over center. Bothered from behind by Brunet, and that put the play offside at the Montreal line. Day in and day out, at home or on the road, you can always count on the great taste of Bud Light. It won't fill you up, never lets you down, so make it a Bud Light.
Watching Patrick Waugh skate around, wondering what is he thinking. These Islanders haven't been testing me that hard. He must be thinking that his team is playing so well in front of him, the Islanders can't seem to crack it. Can they find a way? They have to find a way.
If they don't, Montreal will wait for the winner of the Toronto-Los Angeles series to decide the Stanley Cup. LA up 2-1 in the other round. Puck went off Vaske and is brought down the right wing boards and dumped in by Odeline. Just over 30 seconds in this Islander power play that hasn't produced anything. Norton bumped by Muller, who got a stick on the puck. Dirk Muller dished it off to Keane. Handled down by Ray Ferraro. Ferraro out of the zone, over center. Into the Montreal zone, got checked. And again, they'll chase it as Daniel plays it down into the Islander zone. Hogue bumped Keane in his pursuit. Down to the final 5 seconds of this power play. Long pass to Hogue, in on the left wing boards. Hogue centers. Here's Thomas with a shot. Waugh to save the rebound, and Waugh covers the puck. Islanders are pushed away from the side of the net after battling for anything, just any sniff of a rebound.
They had it for a half a second, but the body of Patrick Waugh was there, blocking everything the Islanders tried to do. Hogue held it. He held it, dished it out. Thomas stopped it, fired it. There's the first stop. The puck is loose. You can see Norton move up. He took the second shot, but a diving, sliding Patrick Waugh makes the save. There's Hogue looking up, looking for the best out, the best play. Finds it in Thomas. Thomas wheeled it. Waugh stopped it. Norton's rebound also stopped by Patrick Waugh.
No shots on the power play, but a little flurry afterward. The Islanders are out shooting Montreal 10-7 in the game. A game that is just about 27 minutes of playing time old, so you know just how much of a defensive struggle this has been. Ryan Mullen tumbling to the deck in his pursuit of the puck. And out of the zone they come, led by Desjardins, who slaps it in around the end boards. Keane went to the corner, left the puck. The Canadiens break in. Healy kicks the shot aside. Another drive, blocked the rebound, they score! Canadiens take the lead on their second rebound opportunity.
Well set up by Montreal. Glenn Healy doesn't get the protection in front of him that Patrick Waugh has seen in this game and in this series. DiPietro finding himself all by himself to the right of Glenn Healy. Keane slowed it up. There's the backhand shot by DiPietro. There's another shot stopped by Healy. But DiPietro, who had circled behind the net, come out, found the puck there, an open side to the net. There's DiPietro's shot. Healy stopped it. There's the rebound. There's another shot. Stopped by Healy. And DiPietro in front of Darius Kasparaitis has popped it in. 1-0. The Montreal Canadiens, 6 minutes and 22 seconds into the second period.
DiPietro's second goal in this series. You saw his 6th overall, so the Canadiens at 6:22 of the second period break on top. Each team with 10 shots on goal now, and we watch Turgeon feed it up ahead, too far for Delgarno. Schneider takes it around behind the net. Pitched into the boards, and the puck comes back. LeClair can't get around Vaske. David Volek's pass finds Turgeon here on the right side. Here Turgeon, a little stutter step on Odeline, up the slot. Wow, the save, and the rebound came right back, but handled by the Canadiens. Odeline gave it away to Vaske. Now to Krupp. Krupp crossed the line. Turgeon broke in too fast. Offside against the Islanders. Domfus and Keane had the assist on that goal by Paul DiPietro.
Krupp goes back to the bench, wondering, what are we doing here? What are we doing in the offensive zone that we create a scoring chance or at least a rush to the net, and we go offside? Too many times. The little things fighting away at the Islanders. They're not in a position where they second-guess themselves yet. Lots of hockey still remaining, 13 minutes in the second period.
With Flatley on the right and Benoit Hogue on the left. The Islander forward line formation here. They're out against Belanger with Dion and Savard. Savard in the lineup. Lehman out of the lineup for Montreal tonight. After Flatley put the puck in the zone, the Canadiens get it out of there. Kasparaitis stepped up on Dion. Flatley couldn't regain control in time to do anything with it, so Daniel to Brisebois, and the Canadiens come to center ice. Pass into Savard, skates at the line. Couldn't play it through Norton. Ferraro went back for it. Can't get it to Flatley. It's loose at center ice. Flatley couldn't arrive in time. Brisebois off the boards to Dion. On to Savard. Eddie Savard cuts into the middle. Held the puck long enough for Daniel, and his shot is a pad save by Healy. Hogue clears it out. The Canadiens, Daniel waits for his teammates to get back on side. Then overled Belanger, and Norton winds up in the Islander zone with a long pass to Flatley. Up the left side, it bounces off Ferraro, and that's offside at the Montreal blue line. The Canadiens lead 1-0. If the Islanders are to extend this series, you have to look at the two guys right there to take that next step, to drag this team up to another level, Ed.
They do, Jiggs, and that's what's not happening for the Islanders. We've talked about the power play, but there's some individual efforts that have been lacking with this hockey team, and Al Arbor agrees they're not going to be successful unless they get more mileage.
Here's Claude Loiselle off the right side. The pass to Tom Fitzgerald. Down the end boards to Loiselle. Pilon had jumped into the slot. They couldn't get it to him. Now Fitzgerald steps out of the corner. Turned it back off the boards. Delgarno unable to center it. Went through Fitzgerald, and up come the Canadiens. Ed Ronan, the Boston native. The Haller on the left side to Ronan as he cut to the net, but he was met there by Vaske. Delgarno, after accepting the pass, moves it on to Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald gets Daniel back in. Loiselle shot. Pad save just off the left side of Patrick Waugh. Up comes Brunet. Brunet drops the puck. Ronan fired toward the net, and that was deflected. Picked up by Krupp of the Islanders. Now to Steve Thomas. Thomas down the right side. Gave the pass to Turgeon, who stops inside the line. Fed it in front of King and wide. Gary King to Thomas. Thomas from back of the net. On to Turgeon. Tried to put it in front. Did, but it didn't arrive in time for King. And Keane brings the Canadiens to center. His pass to DiPietro. Well, DiPietro has the only goal in the game. Put it back in the net. The Canadiens get to it. Dumfus coming out in front all the way to the blue line. Gets checked, but it's held by Odeline. Long shot. Healy out to grab it. Holds on for a face-off with 10 minutes and 40 seconds left in this second period. I want to remind fans that Sports Channel and the New York Islanders have a cruise to Bermuda. A lot of fans and a lot of players from this team. Derek King, goaltender Glenn Healy, and Benoit Hogue, along with Jerry Hart, Ed Westfall, and Dennis Buffin, sailing on the 1st of August. That's a Sunday. Call Hartford Holidays in Great Neck, Long Island at 1-800-828-4813. Sail from the harbor in New York, return the following Sunday. We can promise you a great time. You'll get to meet these guys, spend a lot of time both at sea and in Bermuda, vacationing together. Talk over this series with Glenn Healy, 1-800-828-4813 for more information on the Islander cruise to Bermuda.
I got my training wheels for the motor scooter already.
You fall off last time there?
No, not the last time. That was about 3 years ago. I took one of those famous Bermuda headings. Right on that bridge that goes from the airport over to the mainland. I tried to knock down the walls.
A lot of people have, a lot of people have failed. Healy to Kasparaitis. Around the boards for Ferraro. Coming out on the left side, he's fed Hogue over the line with McGinnis 2-on-1. Hogue to McGinnis. Wow, broke up the pass. Kasparaitis trying to play it toward the corner, but the Canadiens move it out, and here's Schneider down the left wing. Looks to DiPietro. It's 2-on-1 the other way. Schneider's blast just missed at the post. Missed it, yeah. Missed it by a lot, didn't he? Keen.
May as well have hit the post, Jiggs. It was that close that it burned the paint off as it went by.
At least I saw it. McGinnis on to Hogue, who's over the line. Hogue with Ferraro. Back of the net. Puck comes to the corner, controlled by LeClair, and he just dumps it out of the zone. This is Rich Pilon. Pass to Hogue, waiting at the Montreal blue line. Across to Ferraro. Can't break in around Daniel. LeClair gives the puck to Kurt Muller. He's checked at center. LeClair reaches back for it, dumps it in. Muller is offside and has not made an effort to get back onside yet. The Canadiens get it out of the, or the Islanders, I should say, do get it out of the zone. And now Daniel turns on Flatley. Works it toward the corner. We're past the midway point of the second period. Montreal 1, the Islanders nothing. LeClair, a long pass blocked by Mullen. Ryan Mullen dumps it in. Daniel chases it. Goes back to the net to avoid Loiselle. Works it to the right wing side. Bellows flips it up ahead. Too far for Muller. And the Islanders play it right back in across the line. Brisebois to get it out. Krupp stepped up but couldn't get to it. And the Canadiens shoot it down the ice. Vaske back to touch it. Icing is waved off. So the Islanders come out of the right side with a pass to Flatley, who's tipped it into the Montreal zone. And this will be an icing against the Islanders instead. Montreal leads 1-0. Conference playoffs on Sports Channel. The Islanders and the Canadiens. This is Game 4. Being set for a face-off to the right of the Islanders' net. Each team has had a dozen shots on goal in the game. That means the Canadiens have had 8 in this period, but the Islanders 4. Montreal with the only goal. Kevin Haller holds the puck at the line. Comes back. Brunet's shot is blocked by Healy. Leaned one way and had to come back with a sharp save.
Good one-timer by Brunet. Al Arbor allowing Montreal, Jacques Demir, the coach, to use Carbonneau each time Pierre Turgeon is on the ice. Al Arbor not going to match up or try to avoid the lines. There's Delgarno taken down. Haller 14 in. There's the relay. Brunet's quick shot. Glenn Healy a fine save.
I think Glenn Healy has been over to see the folks that you and I have been visiting recently at Davis Optical.
Boy, are they something? Are they professional or what? They are the best.
You know they'd won the Governor's Award for Excellence? Stores, all the stores are going to be closed this Thursday. Healy makes another save that he didn't see till the last second. Yeah, the folks at Davis Optical. Congratulations to our good friends there. Fitzgerald driving it after a loose puck. Put it to the side of the net only to have it cleared, and it jumps away from Kasparaitis at the right point. Norton back on it to Fitzgerald, to Norton. Norton across the line, dumped it toward the net, but wide. In comes Delgarno. A check by Schneider. Mathieu Schneider plays it around the boards. Ed Ronan dumps it down into the Islanders' zone. Kasparaitis back. Under 8 minutes remaining in the period. The pass to Delgarno. Now to Volek. David Volek over the Montreal line. Trying to cut inside. Got checked. Here's Kasparaitis with it. On to Volek. Up the slot. Dion got to him as he came up from behind. And the Canadiens shoot it down the ice. The Islanders unable to create anything for themselves. They're not getting the breaks, not making the breaks as they did in the series against Pittsburgh.
Jiggs Montreal are brilliant in their own end of the ice. There's no other way of saying it. They just play their position so well. Watch the Islanders trying to get down into the Montreal end, trying to get a scoring. Our pregame show, Westfall's Way, we talked about that area in front of the goal. Look at the coverage in front of Patrick Roy. Just as David Volek tries to get a shot away, stripped of the puck. Look at the positioning of the Montreal players in the red sweaters. They're all right there guarding Patrick Roy, never having to make a save. Reminds me back to the overtime, the first overtime of Game 2 when the Islanders had 4 excellent scoring opportunities. Roy didn't have to make one stop. Interesting. One of the reasons, you get a look at him, number 28, Eric Desjardins. 23-year-old defenseman. He will be somebody to watch. He is now for a long time. They have a very young defense, mobile defense, an excellent defensive core, and a defensive posture. That's including the forwards.
Haller's only 22, Odeline 24, Desjardins 23, Schneider 23. There are your 4 mainstays. Turgeon onto a loose puck here. Backhand pass to Derek King. Forced back to the blue line, then turned and shot it wide. Turgeon goes into the corner. Turns on Daniel. Thomas without his helmet. Makes the turn on Muller. The puck went out in front. And right to the Canadiens, and they're out of the zone just that easily. Bellows has shot it in. Healy banks it off the corner boards. Came right back toward the net. Vaske was there. Now to Pierre Turgeon. Turgeon to King, kick back toward Krupp. To King, who's over the Montreal line. Fed Thomas on left wing, and a shot went off the skate. Krupp puts it back in the net for Thomas, trying to come out in front. Does, shoots up high, he scores!
That's his second goal in this series against the Montreal Canadiens. It's his 8th goal in the playoffs. There wasn't enough room for a net to get by. Look at the hit by Thomas. Here he is without a helmet. There's a shot blocked in front again. Healy Krupp down low. Thomas out from the side of the net, and somehow he found enough room along the left side. The short side. Watch the far goalpost to the left of the goaltender. Thomas. There wasn't enough room for a mosquito to get in there, and he found enough room to put the puck in. It's a 1-1 game. The fans are back into the hockey game.
Goal at the 13-14 mark of the second period. 28th Stanley Cup playoff goal in the career of Steve Thomas, and here's Ferraro getting the Islanders back into the zone, and the pass was behind Kasparaitis. Manages to get to it, then Savard got to him. Kasparaitis with it again. Checked this time by Savard. And the Islanders will send Richard Pilon back into his own zone. Backed it off the boards at center ice. Shot back in by Belanger. Pilon battling on the end boards. Kasparaitis. And the Canadiens, Desjardins ends up giving it to Kevin Haller. Long pass. Keane had just come out on the ice. Over the line, Hogue drags it and can't get the shot away. Flatley was right there. Patrick Roy was bucked and is down in the back of the Montreal goal. Not a very big collision. Ferraro and Haller and Hogue were there, and now the Canadiens are going to Hogue as the training staff comes out to attend to Patrick Roy.
Benoit Hogue, Jiggs, backed up and bumped in. Patrick Roy, unless he hit his head when he went backwards, that seems to be the area. Although Patrick Roy is cagey, he's quiet, he's a smart person. He may be trying to cool the Islanders off. See him shaking his head. Can't be the neck or his head would have fallen off, they used to say. But he seems to be all right. Watch Hogue here as he drags the puck, trying to get between the defensemen. Played by Waugh there. Benoit, Hogue bumped into him. I think he hit his head on the crossbar. Patrick Waugh is fairly tall, and as he moved backwards, the back of his head may have hit the crossbar. Stunned him momentarily. That seems, look at him twisting his neck. See the billy goat protector. Protecting the throat area. Nodding to the trainer. Yes, I'm okay.
Not like the Islanders would really be pleased to get the backup goaltender into the game either. You think of what Andre Roscoe did to them during the regular season, although Roscoe has made only one appearance in the playoffs of '93, played 18 minutes in a game against Quebec.
He had a personal high, 26 games, 17 wins during the regular season, Andre Roscoe. Here's Benoit, Hogue again. Watch the goaltender. Watch his head here as he gets bumped. Gets slammed into. Oh, yeah, look at his head shot back. He took a punch from Benoit Hogue. Hogue snuck one in, got away with it.
Now Turgeon, Delgarno, and Volek line up. DiPietro won the face-off for Montreal, and Desjardins around the boards, out of the reach of Keane. Norton drops back here. The pass is to Krupp. Huey Krupp, cross ice to Delgarno. Can't get Volek open at the Montreal blue line. This is Vincent Domfus. A little off balance. Gave the puck away to Krupp. Right side to Volek. Pulls up on Domfus. And now Mike Keane looks to Domfus. Gave him the puck. Onto the stick of DiPietro. Delgarno took care of him. There'll be a penalty on the play. Late call signal. DiPietro and Delgarno, and referee Dan Marawelli with a high sticking penalty against Brad Delgarno. 5:14 left in this period. Let's get a look ahead to our intermission and some observations. Well, here's the penalty first.
There's the play. Originally a good check. That's not a good call. I don't believe under the circumstances. A 1-1 game, riding him in. There's the stick up, but I suppose it's not any different than the one that Max Schneider got on Steve Thomas. Brad Delgarno. Marawelli won't talk to Darius Kasparaitis. So the Islanders, 5 minutes and 14 seconds remaining in the second period. They've tied the hockey game at 1. Have taken a penalty. So Montreal go to the power play. It's their 4th power play of the hockey game.
Yeah, it is. Look at the Blue Blanc Rouge at the bench, and now the face-off just above the circle to the right of the Islanders' net. Healy's right. Fitzgerald and Mullen on the draw. Hogue is the other forward. Kasparaitis and Pilon are the defense combination. Mullen with Bellows and Domfus, who's playing the point. Now Domfus is going to step in to take the face-off. Domfus pulling the puck back toward the blue line for Schneider. Bounced it off Vincent Domfus. It's Pilon. Turns on Domfus. Gave it to Fitzgerald, and he's able to clear it out. Coming back is Brisebois. And while Hogue just turned away from the front of the net, lone man into forecheck. Here's Brisebois handling the puck as he comes to center. The pass to Muller. Into the Islanders' zone. Slowed up by Pilon. The puck goes loose back of the net. Kasparaitis took the man. Domfus gets to it. Feeds the right point, but not before it came outside the line. Mathieu Schneider plays it to the right side. Muller into the Islanders' zone. Dropped it. That's Domfus sneaking in on the boards. Back to Brisebois. Domfus once more to Brisebois. Across to Schneider. Schneider lets it go. Just wide and high, and it'll end up at the point. Held by Brisebois, and then he slaps it back in the net. All the way through. Ryan Bellows with it now. To Schneider. Long shot from the point. Changed direction and went wide.
Kurt Muller tipped it, Jiggs, and that just went outside the goalpost as the Islanders were able to clear it down the ice.
No shots thus far for the Canadiens with 53 seconds left in their power play. Evan Haller quarterbacking the power play now. Flatley and Mullen up front with Krupp and Vaske on the Islander defense. Keane drops the puck for Haller. Around the end boards. Keane waiting for it. Can't get it to Dion. Here's DiPietro feeding Dion. But there Dion backing up with it. And he got it to Desjardins. Haller goes up on the far boards. Checked there by Flatley. Haller regained control, and the Canadiens go cross ice with a pass that didn't get to anybody. And yelling about a hit. Desjardins at the blue line. Pad save. The rebound. DiPietro can't put that in, and the Islanders clear it out.
What a job by Yuri Kurczyk. He not only flattened one of the Montreal forwards, but he got back in front of the net in time to clear a loose puck after Healy had made a save.
And they're over the line with one final rush on this power play, perhaps. Keane is checked. King has cleared it out. Delgarno is out of the penalty box, and the Canadiens drop back. Montreal had one shot on the power play. The game tied 1-1 as Delgarno dumps the puck in right to Waugh, dropped it off. This is Daniel to Dion, off his stick as Thomas ran into him. Now Pilon steps over center and plays the puck on into the Montreal zone with under 3 minutes remaining in the second period. Waugh got flattened as he went out of the net. King is being challenged here. The Islanders with the pass and the shot by Turgeon is well wide. Kasparaitis took the man. The Canadiens come up 2-on-1. Carbonneau and Dion. Carbonneau can't play it through Pilon. Still in the Islander zone, however. King in a collision. And turned away from Ronan, and we watch Pilon work back at the Islanders net. Pilon still with the puck. 2 minutes and 22 seconds left in period 2. 1-1 is the score. Schneider dumps the puck into the Islander zone. Kasparaitis, they get it out of there. Plays it off the board. Schneider blocked it at center. There's Kasparaitis, unable to hit Thomas, but King moves up for the puck. Gave it to Turgeon. Turgeon can't find King. Nice play by Schneider to break up the pass. He's dumped it down into the Islander zone. We'll get a call for icing, and we'll be back to conclude the second period after this.
Some of the action in the Islanders' end of the ice. There was the shot, stopped by Healy. Rebound, stopped by Healy. DiPietro has had chances in this game. He's had the only goal for Montreal as well.
Now Ferraro plays the puck around the end boards in the Montreal zone. Norton went to the man. Delgarno to the puck. Got it to Volek. Back to Delgarno to Ferraro, and he couldn't make contact. Schneider was sneaking up behind him. Haller is leveled on Delgarno's hit. Over on right wing, Ryan Bellows clears it up ahead. Here's Muller. LeClair jumps up on the play. Muller trying to sneak in on the boards. Goes deep. Chase back in the net. Look at the strength of Kurt Muller, and Norton tips him over. LeClair went shoulder to shoulder with Krupp. Ray Ferraro with the puck. Has a broken stick to contend with here. Finally ends up putting it on the right wing boards. Ryan Bellows is there to the side of the net. Muller in front. The shot blocked by Healy, who goes down to cover it. Little scuffle, nothing too serious. We have 1 minute and 10 seconds to play in the second period. A look ahead to our second intermission. Some observations as well from Stan.
Thank you, Jiggs. We're going to have Kirk Muller of the Canadiens, and let me tell you something. The fans were pretty dormant until the Islanders got that tying goal, and now, as you can tell, they're right back in the game. Some stats: Canadiens leading in faceoffs in this period 8-6. Islanders losing in turnovers 9-8. Good body hits. Montreal 3-2. Jiggs?
All right, Stan. Notice Joey McMahon in behind Stan, one of the locker room guys, stick boy, if you will, clean shaven. And you look down the bench, there isn't anybody that had a beard before that has one tonight. The Fu Manchu's everything, I guess, in an effort to change the luck.
Yeah, what a clear track.
Not a bad idea. Don't do that. Just get rid of this.
For the 8th time this year, you've been thinking about it, Jiggs. I don't think we'd all recognize you. I think you ought to keep it. That's
good. That's the idea. Vaske to Pilon. Vaske fell into the back of the net. Meantime, Fitzgerald with a pass into Flatley skates. He's got it on the stick now. Backhands the puck over the line. Brisebois banks it off the boards through Flatley. Vaske at the Islander blue line with a feed here to Pilon, rather. Back for Montreal, Patrice Brisebois. Put it in the corner. Domfus went back for the puck. And plays a long pass toward Keane. He picks it up and steps into the Islander zone, only to be checked by Dennis Vaske. Vaske turns on Keane. There's Domfus trying to center. Keane in the corner with half a minute remaining in the period. Pilon goes to the boards, gets the puck safely onto his stick, and then Tom Fitzgerald on to Benoit Hogue. Right side to Flatley. Flatley puts the puck in deeper, goes in after it, centers. Fitzgerald shot blocked in the goal mouth, and comes loose. Handled by the Canadiens with an outlet here that'll find its way to center, and Fitzgerald gives it to Krupp. 10 seconds in the period. Krupp, long pass to Thomas. Steve Thomas can't make the play in the Montreal zone, and that's going to do it for the second period of Game 4.
A good scoring chance at the end of the period for the Islanders. Benoit, Hogue, Thomas, Flatley, all teaming up around Patrick Waugh, but they couldn't get it behind them. Strong period for the Islanders, equaled by the Montreal Canadiens. They both get a goal.
It's going to come down to the third period of Game 4, isn't it? Game tied 1-1. If the Islanders win, there'll be Game 5 in Montreal on Monday night. If the Canadiens win, it'll be all over, and Montreal will go to the Cup final. Our intermission gets underway right after this. The Islanders and the Canadiens in the Tower of Strength for Montreal. Former Devil Kirk Muller joins Dan Fischler.
Thanks, Jiggs. I remember him when he was a captain, and now he's playing just like a captain with great determination. 2 periods of hockey. Your analysis, Kirk.
Well, this typifies the way the series has been. You know, it's low scoring and tight checking, and you know, both teams got where they are by working hard, and we figured it'd be these type of games where, you know, one bounce or two can make the difference of the game. Everybody remarking about how the Canadiens have this tremendous streak, winning streak. Bill Torrey told me the reason is your club, from the top guy to the bottom guy, there's very little difference. Your feeling? Well, it's true. You know, it's you know, it doesn't matter if you get you know, 2 minutes a game or you know, 30 minutes. You know, we need everybody, the 20 guys that are dressed at night to perform, and we have 5 other guys that we carry, and everyone fits in, and we need you know, commitment from everybody, and that seems to be the success of our hockey club right now. Everyone's paid the price since the beginning of the playoffs, and that's a major reason why we're still playing today. Lots of mean hockey out there. I was at ice level where in that play when Dion checked Malakhov on the icing, it was after the whistle. It was a cheap shot from my view. Your reaction? Well, you know, it's a big topic now about the icing, the way they call it. A lot of people would like to see as soon as it's icing, call it automatically, because, you know, you say that, but it's tough on a guy like Dion. You know, he's chasing down there, and you know, you're told as a player to, if it's there, you gotta get in there and try to get the puck and prevent an icing. And you know, sometimes when you see a goalie come out to play it, you're kind of caught whether to go for it or to stand back. And I think it's more the rule that should be changed rather than you know, say something about Gilbert on that play. Thanks very much for coming, and congratulations on this terrific run so far. Thanks a lot. Jiggs?
All right, Stan, yes, the Canadiens and the Islanders, after 2, are tied 1-1. Our intermission continues from the Nassau Coliseum right after this. Mr. Fischler?
Thanks, Jiggs. I'm with Roberto Borzoni, the man who's in charge of the ice here at Nassau Coliseum, and now that we're in the middle of May, it may be a little bit warmer than usual. Roberto, how difficult does the weather make it for ice making?
It's not difficult because we have a very good group of engineers that they take care of the temperature very good. They work good.
Now, how long has the ice been in here?
The last time we made the ice was 2 months ago. 2 months? Yeah. But that don't mean how long is the ice. They can play even ice made it 2-3 days before, because the temperature of the ice is very good. The engineer, the refrigeration engineer, they take care of the ice very good.
Did any of the Montreal players or the Islanders talk to you about the ice?
Oh, yes.
What do they say?
They like the ice. They like the ice to keep it nice and cold. And I keep in touch with the engineer from the refrigeration, and we work together. That's why the ice is very good.
Thanks very much, Roberto. It was a pleasure. Jiggs?
All right, Stan, a Zamboni, a Borzoni, and one only goal for each of these 2 teams. Islanders and Canadiens 1-1. More right after this.
I'm sure you remember me saying to you, you only get so many opportunities in a hockey game, and you better put them in. Against the Montreal Canadiens, that is exemplified because they don't give you too many chances. At the end of the second period now, it's 1-1. The Montreal Canadiens scored in the second period. So did the New York Islanders. Mobile's going to show us the goals from the second period. Let's take a look. DiPietro scored the goal for the Montreal Canadiens. He went behind the net, come out from the side, and there was the puck, there was the net. and an opening, and he jammed it in. He's played 11 games in these playoffs this season. He has 11 points. You can see the numbers. He has 6 goals, and the Montreal Canadiens at that point had a 1-0 lead. The Islanders had some scoring chances. They seemed to get more as the game went on. Steve Thomas, there he is, helmetless, grabbed the puck, come out from the side of the net, and from an unlikely angle, he was able somehow to find a spot, and he got it in behind Patrick Waugh. And the Islanders, on Steve Thomas's 8th goal, had a 1-1 tie when the period came to an end. We'll be back for the start of the 3rd period after you see these messages. MCS service. One is a great reason to buy the other. Well, on some nights we show you an MCS Cannon teamwork moment where a goaltender helps out. Let's take a look as the Islanders help out on the other side. Denis Vaske there. Here's a shot by Glenn Healy. Here's the rebound by Pietro. Stopped, and Krupp in the right place at the right time comes to the aid of his goaltender, Glenn Healy. An MCS Cannon teamwork moment. One is a great reason to buy the other.
The Islanders still coming from their dressing room, getting ready for this 3rd period of Game 4. Who will get the winner, and at what juncture of this game? Will it be in the 3rd period? Will it be an extra period? Will there be a long night this Saturday night? And look who's back. Vladimir Malakhov has come from the dressing room. He did that at the start of the 2nd period and couldn't continue. On the hit from Dion at this 11:44 mark of the 1st period, he suffered a knee injury, a contusion of the knee, we're told.
You could see a twist in the replay we showed. We'll have to wait and see how he skates. He does not look that limber, but you can see there he's limping. His left leg not being able to hold his entire weight. See how much action Al Arbor, or will he use them just on power play situations? And the Islanders, I suppose when you think about it, Jiggs, this is really overtime, only it's not the end of the game if someone scores. But the next goal in this hockey game, monumental. Islanders hope that that'll be theirs. Sure, the talk in the dressing room, let's win 1 period. We can win a period. That's what the concentration will be on. Win 1 period and send the game back to Montreal, or the series, I should say.
And we would have that for you on Monday night at 7:30 Eastern Time. Islanders taking a little time getting their lineup on the ice. Turgeon, Delgarno, and now David Volek coming out as you look at Patrick Waugh. 1.38 goals against in the series. Kirk Muller will be in the middle with Bellows on the right and LeClair on the left for Montreal. Turgeon to take the draw for the New York Islanders. Nobody won it cleanly. Now Muller kicks it back to Schneider. Over to Odeline. While Odeline is shot it deep into the Islanders zone, and Kasparaitis touches up. Then he is bowled over by LeClair after the whistle.
Kasparaitis looked up and said, wait a minute, I thought that was a whistle for icing. Wasn't it my teammate, my defense partner, that got hammered into the boards not long ago? On an icing call, there's Kasparaitis kind of let up, and when he did, wham, LeClair leveled him. Look at the snow on his face. Sometimes that feels very refreshing, but it's not necessarily the right time. You just come out of the dressing room, the body hasn't worked itself up to the temperature that it would normally at this point, so it would feel rather cool, or rather cold, I should say.
Our sources through Stan Fischler and his group down by the dressing room are reporting that Vladimir probably won't play. The doctor's saying that he's there on the bench, but not expected to play. In the similar situation in the series with Toronto and Detroit when Paul Coffey couldn't play in the 3rd period of that game. Here's Kasparaitis off the end boards to Delgarno. Look to Volek, gave him the puck. David Volek brings it back to the point, then his shot went wide. Bobby Fitzgerald putting it back to the net. There's Delgarno, turns on Schneider. It's chased to the corner. Delgarno trying to swing it in front and hit a skate and comes out towards center ice. It's Pilon back off the boards through Muller right to Volek, and a 2-line pass called against the Islanders. 19-19 the time remaining in the 3rd period. If you haven't yet met our friend Mr. Probert. Here's your opportunity, and you can order tonight. Operators are standing by to take your calls, and you can charge to any of the major credit cards by dialing 1-800-PRO-BEAR and get your very own dressed in the NHL uniform of your choice. Comes with skates, sticks, gloves, negotiable contract. It's going into the $79.95, as you saw, $5 for shipping or handling. You can name your bear anything you want. Put them in any uniform you want. 1-800-PROBEAR is the number to call right now. Oh, no operators tonight. Oh, I'm sorry. We'll get that back up for you in case you missed the address then, I guess. Didn't mean to mislead you, folks. I won't write them. Krupp at the left point. Across to Norton. Over center and dumps it in. Gary King stole the puck. Gave it to Turgeon. Thomas unable to knock it out of the air and regain control, so the Canadiens just clear it to center, and here's Krupp. On to Turgeon. Left side to Norton. Norton shot it up high on Brisebois. King got to it, but couldn't hit Thomas, who was breaking in, and the Canadiens sky it down into the Islander zone. It's curling right to Healy. Huey Krupp comes back. Canadiens completing a player change now, so Krupp banked it off the left wing boards. Desjardins moves it up ahead. Keane can't get to it. Krupp does. Played it away from DiPietro, but Donfus pitches in. DiPietro put it in front. Hit by Norton. Steve Thomas got turned around, knocked down by Keane. Keane to DiPietro, chases it to the boards. Thomas slammed him into the boards again. This is Huey Krupp coming off the end boards for the Islanders. Up through Thomas and all the way down into the Montreal zone. A very cautious start to this third period. Icing is the call against the New York Islanders.
Islanders can't just go out and play reckless, obviously, because the Montreal Canadiens would love to see it happen. But you also can't take a puck on the open side of the ice and shoot it down, creating a face-off in your end of the ice. Don't give any advantages to the Montreal Canadiens. They can create enough of their own, particularly with the talents of a player such as Vincent Donfus, who leads Montreal in scoring in the playoffs, 15 points in 13 games.
Now we've been misled again. Look who's on the ice. Vladimir Malakhov. He and Dennis Vaske, the defense combination, was Ferraro, Hogue, and Flatley will be the Islander forwards. Patrick Roy just had a fresh water bottle delivered at the other end of the ice.
Didn't like the one he got first. He got that's the second one he's gotten in the last couple of minutes. Wrong flavor Gatorade or whatever they use.
As they line up here, it'll be DiPietro against Ferraro. DiPietro got the puck to Keane, to the point for a Haller, pulls to the right, shot one that hit Flatley. Bounce toward Benoit. Hogue. Flatley limping as he just now is back up in his skates. Canadiens have dumped it in. Dennis Vaske with it. Around the end boards to Malakhov. On to Ferraro. Right side to Flatley. Hogue with him on the left. Flatley has dumped it in. Hogue chasing the puck. Benoit Hogue guides it back in the net. Flatley gets pinned on the boards. Now gets loose from the check. Patrick Flatley played it behind Ferraro, and the Canadiens will come away. Keane over center. Three Islanders back. Keane across the line, dropped it. Paul DiPietro put it in front off Donfus. And as Vaske clears it out for the Islanders, Schneider takes a little time going back. Icing is waved off, so Waugh plays the puck, and the Islanders on a wholesale change get Volek back out with Turgeon and Delgado. Over the line back into the Montreal zone. Avoided the check from Turgeon. Puck goes to Savard. On to center ice for Belanger. Crisscrossing with Dion. Jesse Belanger taken to the corner by Pilon. They center. Cleared aside off the side of the net on the return shot. And Kasparaitis plays it to Turgeon. Got it to the line and then offside as the Canadiens put it back in the zone, catching everybody there. It's still a 1-1 tie. Didn't mean to mislead you folks about calling the 800 number. There's the address. Probert, Meadowlanders Inc., 245 Patterson Plank Road. And you notice the Probert even comes with a clerical collar. Anyway, Belanger after a loose puck.
It's a holy hockey player.
Turgeon nudges it up towards Delgado. On comes Turgeon to Kasparaitis. Volek takes the pass across the line. Shot it off Odeline. Savard turns back for the Canadiens. Denis Savard across the blue line. A spinorama, Savardian move, didn't work. Delgarno spots Turgeon moving up the ice. Can't play the puck through that man that was back Dion, but Volek's drive is turned aside, then he went for the rebound. It comes to Delgarno. Into Volek, off his stick, but right to Savard, who clears the zone, and Norton hustles back for the Islanders. They play just over 4 minutes of the third period. Krupp steps over the Montreal line, plays it to the right side. McGinnis dumps it back to the net. Driving after it is Mullen. Knocked away from him, and it comes outside the blue line. This is Krupp. This did get it away from LeClair. Fitzgerald moves it out of the zone. Mullen will drop it back to Krupp. The Canadiens send LeClair into forecheck. Krupp to Mullen. Mullen dumps the puck in from center ice. Chasing it back is Daniel. Daniel puts it around behind the net. Mullen is there. Couldn't center it cleanly. It comes back to Norton. Jeff Norton trying to dance out of the corner. Goes back to the net. Norton trying to come out in front. Send it to McGinnis, and his shot was blocked. 3 Canadiens move out. 3 Islanders get back. This is LeClair. Dropped it. A shot from Muller went high. Kirk Muller and Fitzgerald collide. Krupp to handle the puck here. Turned it away from Bellows. Norton comes from back of the net. Jeff Norton to Tom Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald got it away from Donfus, but couldn't get it by Brisebois at the Montreal line. Stepping up is Malakhov. Didn't get to it. It's offside, called against the Canadiens.
Jiggs, the Islanders with another excellent scoring opportunity. Marty McGinnis went in, and guess what happened? His stick broke in the act of shooting. With an excellent chance, back come the Montreal Canadiens. As the drop play, here's the shot by Muller. That was high. You could see the goaltender Glenn Healy as he ducked under. Here's the pass to Marty McGinnis. There's the shot. Look at the stick. It disintegrated as he let it go. Metal shaft, wooden blade, they snap.
I think back to something we mentioned during the season that came to the fore again in the playoffs with Buffalo. Their management said, especially to the defensemen, no aluminum shafted sticks. They break too often. Those shots from the point are so important.
Of course, the other thing about having it break at the point is that you're left vulnerable. A lot of times the thing breaks and you're left on a 2-on-1.
Here's a chance for Keane, and with Healy down, the shot went wide. Haller puts it back in the Islanders' net. Donfus after it. It's tied up with Vaske, and Malakhov moved it around the boards. Flatley and Keane in a battle here. Canadiens regain control. Bad pass, however, does come outside the line, and Flatley sends Ferraro down the right side. Ferraro holds it, looks for Flatley, he scores!
At times he appears to have snowshoes on his feet, not skates. Look at Flatley lumber to the net. Ferraro with a perfectly timed pass, and still being checked. Flatley somehow, like Thomas, found enough room to get the puck into the corner of the net. Good move here by Ray Ferraro. He waited to the last second, fed it. Look at the puck laid flat, a backhand shot. Beautiful backhand shot. There's the play. Flatley started inside his own blue line when he stole the puck. Drop pass on the right side to Ferraro in front of Haller, number 14. There's the layout of beauty inside the goalpost as Flatley gets by Desjardins.
And as Flatley celebrates over at the bench, the door opened and Vladimir Malakhov went to the dressing room. So the big Russian defenseman appears to be finished for tonight's game. The Islanders with a 2-1 lead. The goal at the 5:57 mark. Paul DiPietro is stripped of the puck. Now we'll see if the Islanders can extend it or have a little more success in trying to sit on a lead tonight, although I don't think that's what they want to do. Don't you dare sit on a lead with Montreal, do you?
I suppose they wouldn't want us here even a mention of the word, Jiggs. Flatley wouldn't, his teammates wouldn't, the coaching staff, they'll be telling them, reminding them, you've got the lead, keep going, get another one. Don't sit back and let the Montreal Canadiens come to you. You didn't when you got this goal. I don't know how that puck found its way into the net. I'm sure Patrick Roy doesn't either, but Pat Flatley does.
And he just can't beat him cleanly, it seems. Gotta find another way, as Thomas did in the second period, and now Flatley here in the third, and the Canadiens are out of the zone. Brunet dumping the puck in. Ronan shoulder to shoulder knocks King off balance. Ronan goes for the puck. Has Brunet in the slot. Went to the line instead, and Schneider golfed it wide. In quickly is Guy Carbonneau. Back to the net. Brunet knocked down by Norton. Norton recovers the puck. Up to Steve Thomas. Thomas flips it up in the air, and that'll bounce into the Montreal zone where Odeline gives chase. Quickly to Schneider, off his stick, right to Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald checked at the Montreal line. Odeline to Kirk Muller. Look at the strength again. Muller on McGinnis. One-handed, put it in the corner. Kasparaitis to play it here. Pinched by Muller. Kasparaitis clutching his face. Now down goes Mullen, and here there will be a penalty on Kirk Muller. So the Islanders are going to get a power play chance, and we'll be right back.
The penalty is to Kirk Muller. Dan Maruelli had a couple of opportunities. Watch Kasparaitis here. Look at the stick into his face. Now that wasn't a penalty at the time. It was after that. Kirk Muller there with a chop up under the arms of Brian Mullen. Got a high sticking penalty.
So the third power play of the evening for the Islanders. You know the story. Dreadful in the playoffs, and especially in this series, but now Norton has slammed the puck in around the boards. Comes to the left side, King in after it. Don Foose behind him, Brisebois in front of him, and Brisebois broke it up, laid it off Norton's stick. Jeff Norton steps over center and dumps it in. Thomas there to knock it away from Daniel. Steve Thomas in the corner for Turgeon. Looks to Krupp at the point, gives him the puck. Across to Norton. Norton. The King, the Krupp, fires from the blue line, and that takes off in a deflection well up into the seats. New York Islanders hockey is being brought to you by Mobil. Mobil 1 synthetic motor oil. It's
Desjardins.
And as Flatley celebrates over at the bench, the door opened and Vladimir Malakhov went to the dressing room. So the big Russian defenseman appears to be finished for tonight's game. The Islanders with a 2-1 lead. The goal at the 5:57 mark. Paul DiPietro is stripped of the puck. Now we'll see if the Islanders can extend it or have a little more success in trying to sit on a lead tonight, although I don't think that's what they want to do. Don't you dare sit on a lead with Montreal, do you?
I suppose they wouldn't want to hear even a mention of the word, Jiggs. Flatley wouldn't, his teammates wouldn't, the coaching staff, they'll be telling them, reminding them, you've got the lead, keep going, get another one. Don't sit back and let the Montreal Canadiens come to you. You didn't when you got this goal. I don't know how that puck found its way into the net. I'm sure Patrick Roy doesn't either, but Pat Flatley does.
And he just can't beat him cleanly, it seems. Got to find another way, as Thomas did in the second period, and now Flatley here in the third, and the Canadiens are out of the zone. Brunet dumping the puck in. Ronan shoulder to shoulder knocks King off balance. Ronan goes for the puck. Has Brunet in the slot. Went to the line instead, and Schneider golfed it wide. In quickly is Guy Carbonneau. Back to the net. Brunet knocked down by Norton. Norton recovers the puck. Up to Steve Thomas. Thomas flips it up in the air, and that'll bounce into the Montreal zone where Odeline gives chase. Quickly to Schneider, off his stick, right to Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald checked at the Montreal line. Odeline to Kirk Muller. Look at the strength again. Muller on McGinnis. One-handed, put it in the corner. Kasparaitis to play it here. Pinched by Muller. Kasparaitis clutching his face. Now down goes Mullen, and here there will be a penalty on Kirk Muller. So the Islanders are going to get a power play chance, and we'll be right back.
The penalty is to Kirk Muller. Dan Maruelli had a couple of opportunities. Watch Kasparaitis here. Look at the stick into his face. Now that wasn't a penalty at the time. It was after that. Kirk Muller there with a chop up under the arms of Brian Mullen. Got a high sticking penalty.
So the third power play of the evening for the Islanders. You know the story. Dreadful in the playoffs, and especially in this series, but now Norton has slammed the puck in around the boards. Comes to the left side, King in after it. Don Foose behind him, Brisebois in front of him, and Brisebois broke it up, laid it off Norton's stick. Jeff Norton steps over center and dumps it in. Thomas there to knock it away from Daniel. Steve Thomas in the corner for Turgeon. Looks to Krupp at the point. Gives him the puck. Across to Norton. Norton. The King to Krupp. Fires from the blue line. And that takes off in a deflection well up into the seats. New York Islanders hockey is being brought to you by Mobil. Mobil 1 synthetic motor oil. Isn't your car worth the extra protection?
Huey Krupp is a little upset with himself. He allowed Vincent Damphos. There's the pass to him. Too much time. There's the stick going out. The puck sailing on up into the seats. Thomas waiting, looking for something to deflect. Can he get in the way of Patrick Waugh as that puck came in, but it was well up into the seats. Trying to be too perfect with the shot sometimes. You get a little too much time, you take more than you should. That allows penalty killers to get sticks in front of the shots.
Linesman Ron Finn will drop the puck between Carbonneau and Turgeon, and immediately Carbonneau slammed it down the ice. Healy gave it to Norton. He has Turgeon on the left, Krupp on the right. King came back to join the play. The pass onto the stick of Krupp off the right wing board. All the way back to the Montreal net. Huey Krupp fended off a check and gave it to Norton. Across to Thomas. It jumped away from him, but he puts it back in the net. Turgeon waiting for it. Centers. Norton up the slot. The pass instead to Thomas. Back in the net to Turgeon. King calling for it. Turgeon can't get it to Norton. Nice read by Carbonneau, and the Canadiens are out of the zone. Back on the puck. Jeff Norton into forecheck. Brunet. Now Huey Krupp lugs it out of the zone. Pass off Turgeon's stick, and the Canadiens shoot it down the ice. This with 32 seconds left, and the penalty to Muller. And again, the Islanders have not had a shot on goal. They had one on their first opportunity tonight when Dion was off. Did not have a shot on goal in the second chance. None here, and Ferraro is over the line. Put it in the high slot. Kasparaitis gets checked. Benoit, Hogue, and Damphos went to the boards. Hogue trying to get the puck to Kasparaitis. Does. Now to Vaske. Off the left side. His shot changed direction. Flatley poked at it. Keane is there to clear it. And the Islanders have to go back as the penalty to Muller expires. 2-1. The Islanders leading the Canadiens. Vaske puts the puck in deep. Waugh leaves it back in the net. Ferraro couldn't get there in time, but it does go to Hogue. And Hogue using the board into the corner where Muller checked him. Muller comes down the right side with a pass to Keane. Muller dives in after the loose puck. Healy out to play that. Kasparaitis comes to the left wing boards. As Ferraro moving up, Flatley as well. The pass to Flatley, took it in his skates, has the puck on his stick, trying to put it out in front. It went high in the air. Ferraro can't get a stick on it. And it's called now. The Canadiens knocking it down with a high stick and then playing it next. 10 minutes, 11 seconds remaining in this third period. Interesting that Patrick Flatley gets the go-ahead goal, his second of the playoffs. The only other one was in the series with Washington. And on Hockey Night in Canada tonight, the folks coast to coast in Canada got to see portions of the Heels and Flats show that have entertained SportsChannel audiences this hockey season. Haven't always entertained Al Arbor, and I'm sure Jacques Lebert wouldn't find it all that entertaining tonight either, but a few yucks and chuckles. Even our producer, Kevin Meininger, made a cameo appearance in tonight's special on Hockey Night. I wonder how the folks in the West will react to the idea of paving the provinces of Alberta, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba. I guess as long as the Ferraro family got the contract, well, the puck cleared out to the Montreal zone. Volek against Dion. Huey Krupp moves to center ice. The pass to David Volek on right wing. Haller knocked it away from him. And Dion got knocked down at center ice, and it's Norton back for the Islanders. On to Delgarno. To Fitzgerald across the line on left wing, pulls up, looks to make the play. Nobody coming late. Now he spots Krupp. Krupp around Dion, goes to the front of the net, to the backhand. Wow, the save, the rebound, they bang it in! Volek!
Was it Satchel Paige that said, don't look over your shoulder, you never know what might be gaining on you? I'm sure Montreal and the coach Jacques Demers feel that way as Huey Krupp come to the front of the net. Volek was knocked down. He didn't have a glove on. But he got back up and hammered the puck into the net. Beautiful play by Krupp. He's played well in these playoffs. He's played exceptionally well in this hockey game. There was his backhand shot. He got some help when Dion slid the puck to his goaltender that went underneath him, and Volek hammered it in.
Now 9.5 minutes remaining in the third period, a 3-1 Islander lead. It was scoreless after 1, tied 1-1 after 2. Then goals by Flatley and now David Volek. The Islanders have a 2-goal cushion. This Canadiens team is capable of exploding at any time. Look out here, Mullen is across the line. Loiselle trying to get to the front of the net. McGinnis comes late. Here's Pilon up the slot with a shot that was tipped off wrong. Loiselle forced that to change direction. Mullen puts it in the corner. Loiselle and Norton after it. In comes Brian Mullen, dug it out of the corner, puts it back into the skates of Loiselle. Odeline still hasn't released him. Floating around there is Vaske, and now the whistle, and a face-off in the Montreal end. You're watching the Stanley Cup playoff, the Conference Championship, Islanders and Canadiens on SportsChannel.
Well, they're doing their best, these Islanders, to keep it from happening in this series against the powerful Montreal Canadian team.
Kasparaitis chasing a loose puck back into the Islander zone off the boards and fired right on by Muller. Healy, the save, that hurt him a bit. What a blast by Kurt Muller, and now some milling around, little scuffle.
Can't make those kinds of mistakes with the Montreal Canadiens. An errant pass off the board seemed to be going to no one but a Montreal Canadian, Kurt Muller. What a ripping shot. Kasparaitis arguing with the referee over some aspect of that last play. Hard shot, you're right, it did hurt Glenn Healy. He tries not to let it show. The Islanders banking pucks off the boards. Not good. When you're, excuse me, Jiggs, when you're skating one way and bank it off the boards going the other, you're in trouble, big trouble, if it doesn't go to your teammate.
Darius Kasparaitis back on the bench now. And Derek King had a little set-to back in the Pittsburgh series in Game 7, and Andy Van Helleven skated by King after Darius had cross-checked him and tried to just two-hander after a play and said, "You're going to let him do that?" "Well, yeah, King said he's nuts. He's crazy. Does that all the time." But the play a moment ago has to be questionable, and here are the Canadiens trying to put it from back of the Islander net. Muller got checked. Turgeon checked him, checks him again. Muller got it on the stick and shot it wide. And again, Muller hits the deck heavily. Canadiens up with the puck, however. Daniel centered, and it's cleared high up over the glass.
What a break for the Islanders a moment ago, Jiggs. There was no question there should have been a penalty to Pierre Turgeon. He lost his stick. He grabbed Kurt Muller with both hands and flung him to the ice. That's what Muller is making a mild complaint to the referee over. He was swung around and fired down. LeClair, a hard guy to move away from the front of the net, holding his ground as Montreal pick up the pace. Dennis Vaske goes to the penalty box.
John LeClair leads as well.
Number 11 and 77 in the bottom right of your screen. Watch Pierre Turgeon without the stick. Look at this. And you know who the closest person to that play is? Out of the screen to the right. Yes, with an orange armband on, the referee. So the Islanders dodged a blast from a machine gun.
Remember game number 2 in Montreal when Delgado was down and appeared to be injured, and Montreal scored what turned out to be the tying goal that sent it to overtime?
Yes, vividly.
The standby referee who was due to referee game 3, Kerry Fraser, was a guest on Hockey Night in Canada later on, and didn't see the play. He was riding the bike. He was in their exercise room riding the bike at the time. Not all bad.
Well, that's not the only thing he didn't see, apparently, because a lot of people felt he didn't see the too many men on the ice.
Well, the following game here. Here's Krupp moving right in. Wow, the save, and up with the puck is Desjardins. Up the right side they come. Donfus. DiPietro trailing. Donfus. The ball. DiPietro is shot right on. Healy's got it. Well, tell you what, for the size of them, there's a lot of power and there's a lot of player packed into Paul DiPietro, isn't there?
Is there ever, Jiggs? This is his first NHL season, full season. Well, I guess he didn't play it a full season. It's his first NHL playoff. But using a screen here, set up. Dom Foose with the drop pass. Jeff Norton pulled into position, and then DiPietro fired a good hard shot. Healy, you can see he's got it trapped up against his body. He doesn't have his hand on it. He's pressing it against his body with his arm.
Great similarity between DiPietro and Ray Ferraro. They're both in love with a jacket that I have from this week in baseball. Holding out for the best offer. Actually, I made deals with both. Sound familiar?
The Merchant of Venice.
I'm dealing like the Quebec Nordiques now. I've got to trade with both, and I'm trying to decide which to take. Actually, they both got their jackets tonight. Waiting to see what I get in return. Kasparaitis to Fitzgerald. To Turgeon down the right side. Turgeon works on Schneider. Put it right in front of the net. Kasparaitis handles it. In deeper to Turgeon. Goes back to the goal for Schneider. Islanders 3, Canadiens 1, and the Canadiens come out of the zone, led by Domfus. Vincent Domfus driving on Pilon. Made the puck cross ice, and Kasparaitis gets it to the line. Turgeon got the man, and Volek gets the puck. He's across the Montreal blue line. Can't complete the play, but he drove right to the net. And Brisebois comes away from Montreal. 4-on-4 hockey as we watch Brisebois feed it to Keane, works it off the boards, then Krupp got Keane flying. Norton back of the goal. Dion stripped him of it, but Huey Krupp came back to help. Here's Ray Ferraro out to David Volek. Couldn't pick it up at center, neither can Krupp. Gilbert Dion to Daniel, then he's overled Odeline. Jeff Norton with a pass across for Patrick Flatley. Flatley pulled up on Daniel, makes the pass to Ferraro, walks in around Odeline, only to be checked at the last second.
He had him beat, Jiggs. He lost the puck as he tried to stretch out with his left hand.
And the Islanders get forced out of the zone. Flatley brings the puck in a little deeper, then gave it to Norton. The clock showing just a little more than 6 minutes remaining in the third period. Vaske and LeClair are sprung. They're back at full strength, and here's Flatley on his off wing. Patrick Flatley with a feed to Ferraro. Ferraro centers, Hogue to Flatley, shot it high. Comes bouncing off the glass. Flatley bumped into LeClair. And LeClair pokes the puck outside the line. Pilon picks it up. Gave it to Flatley, left side to Hogue. And while Hogue races in, rounds the net, looks to Ferraro, and he didn't get a good shot away.
He was in too close to get a shot away.
Now Muller into the Islanders zone. Can't drag it through Pilon. Pilon pushed at him. Hogue gives the puck to Kasparaitis. Up to Ferraro. Desjardins pinched in on him, and now Kasparaitis with LeClair tugging at him. Found Thomas. Crisscrossing with Hogue in a near collision at center ice. Dave Thomas waiting for help to arrive. His teammates in the middle of the chain. Kasparaitis handles it here, up to King. Puts it in the far corner. Thomas races it after it. Turgeon to the front of the net. Thomas pulls up. Trying to make the pass, and it's cut off by Desjardins. Stolen, and then King's shot is tipped up into the seats. 5 minutes and 12 seconds left in the third period.
It's the Islanders that are keeping the game level up that high. They're giving Montreal a lot of headaches. The speed and puck handling abilities of Steve Thomas never better demonstrated than what we saw on the last shift. Beautiful skating, great puck handling as he turned the Montreal defenseman round and round.
You know, so much has been said in Canada in the series involving Toronto and Los Angeles, and how basically it was over after the Leafs won the first game. Toronto was looking forward to playing Montreal. The reverse true as well. And Los Angeles leads that series 2-1. Already beaten Calgary, beaten Vancouver. If they were to knock out Toronto and then knock out Montreal for the Stanley Cup, they'd have gone through 4 Canadian provinces. Marching through Canada to the Cup, they're saying in L.A. Fans are having fun with this, just as they are here at the Coliseum tonight. We hope you're enjoying wherever you're watching on SportsChannel. Steve Thomas floated it to the side of the net. Turgeon centers, couldn't get it to King. Comes back to Norton at the left point. Played it all the way around the boards. Derek King chasing it. King cuts it into the corner for Thomas. Pilon jumps up in the play, shoots, wall to save. He looked over his shoulder, but it was tucked under his pads. 3-1, Islanders leading the Canadiens. It's come down to this. 4 minutes and 27 seconds left in the third period. The New York Islanders leading the Montreal Canadiens by 2. 2-2-2-2 up on the board. Each team with 22 shots on goal. Lots of deuces. Fitzgerald put the puck on the end boards. Pietro around to the right side. Vaske pinched in. Now Delgarno frees it up. Benoit played it away from Volek. Daniel to the line. Delgarno knocked it down. Gave it to Volek. David Volek. That check. There's Pilon. Dumps it off to the side of the net. Fitzgerald to the corner to try and recover. Over comes Volek as well. The puck ends up on Daniel's stick. Under 4 minutes to go as Daniel looks for the man. Goes up the middle with the pass to Donfus. It's cleared away by Delgarno. Will drop back to cover the point. And Dennis Vaske flips it down into the Montreal zone. Wild quickly plays it through the center ice area for Keane. Now back to Odeline. On into the Islanders zone. Healy will hold it up for Norton as Keane came into forecheck. Islanders don't get it out of the zone. Odeline shot takes off, ends up in the seats. Well, what has Stan spotted in this third period? Let's find out.
Well, Jiggs, what the Islanders are doing right so far is taking the play to the Canadiens, forechecking very well. But what the Isles have to watch out for are those dipsy-doodle guys on the Canadiens. Denis Savard in particular. He's got that kind of move that can break somebody free. The Islanders bringing their extra forward back, checking well. We'll see what happens. Jiggs?
All right, Stan, 3 minutes, 27 seconds as you see. What have you spotted?
Haven't seen Denis Savard in this third period. Kind of a break-open player at Jacques Demir. There you get a good look at the professor.
Jacques LeClair nodding, obviously getting some information from Charlie Tifo, former assistant coach with the New York Rangers. Charlie's on the headset tonight. There's Jacques on the bench. LeClair, that is. Bellows with Hogue stepping into him. Long shot from the point. Didn't get through. And here's Brian Bellows. Flatley can't jab it away from him. Bellows played it in deeper. Krupp had it. Lost it. It's under Ferraro. Comes loose. Muller gets pushed to the boards and then knocked down by Krupp. Canadiens still trying to move it around the end boards, aren't they? Here's Krupp. Played it away from Muller. And while Hogue clears it up, Ferraro picks it up. Has Flatley with him on the right side. Ferraro into the high slot. Can't shoot it. Back they come. Big collision. Ferraro is down on the ice and play called by referee Denis Merriwelli.
He collided with one of the Montreal players. He pulled the puck back like he was trying to shoot it, but the puck wasn't sliding to him as he expected it to. He was losing control, and then he got run over, or as he collided with the Montreal player, whether the Montreal player saw him and hit him, or whether they just collided and he didn't see him. It's hard to tell. Watch Ferraro. He's moving backwards, trying to pull the puck in, then he's checked. Put the puck stick between. Oh, wow. Wow. A two-hander across the side of the head on Ray Ferraro. Here he's trying. He's losing the puck. Poked away. Spinning around. Whipping the stick. Whack. That's Lyle Odeline as he hit Ray Ferraro across the side of the head.
Fans in certain areas of the building are getting to see that. The entertainment wall has a problem tonight. Two sides, I believe, have been disabled. But fans in certain areas seeing that replay, you heard them groan.
Wow, I would hope I groan. That was, I believe, the heel of the stick, too, Jiggs. There is no stronger area on the hockey stick to whack somebody, and that's where Lyle Odeline hit Ray Ferraro with the heel of the stick across the side of the face.
Very slowly, Ray Ferraro going to the Islander bench. Trainer Ed Tyberski with him. Odeline being questioned now by Ferraro, and Flatley and Krupp pick up the debate.
I think that the Montreal Canadiens are getting away with it. That's Odeline now. Kasparaitis saying something to Odeline. Ray Ferraro back at the Islanders bench. It would appear now that there is not a penalty on the play. Linesman didn't see it. Referee didn't see it. One thing about this, Jiggs, though, what does happen, the referee knows that something happened and everybody missed it. The linesmen know it. He knows it. Montreal, if they get something that's even close, he's liable to call it on them. In other words, you got me here, guys. I can't call something I didn't see. The other linesman didn't see it. But the next one, you know you're going.
LeClair is wide to the right. Muller in the middle. Bellows standing next to him. And then out of your picture, LeClair. They put the puck in, and LeClair went racing it after it, only to be slowed up by David Volek. LeClair delivers a hit on Kasparaitis, who's lost his left glove, had to go back for it. From center ice, Desjardins slams it around the boards. LeClair comes in after it, shoots Healy the save, and Loiselle is there to handle the rebound. Not Loiselle, up to Brad Delgarno. Into the zone with a pass that didn't get to Volek. Bellows is checked, however, and Kasparaitis takes over. Darius Kasparaitis to Rich Pilon, to Brad Delgarno. Down the ice it goes. Chasing it back. Benoit. Off Loiselle's stick. He recovers outside the line and dumped it right to Patrick Roy. That'll bring about a whistle for an offside with 2 minutes and 7 seconds left in the third period. A 3-1 Islander lead, and let's set the stage. The Islanders win here tonight to go to Montreal for Game 5 on Monday night. We will have it for you on SportsChannel beginning at 7:30 from the Forum. If the Canadiens come back, well, they'd have to get 3 to win it in regulation, 2 to send it to overtime, but if the game should end in a Montreal victory here tonight, and the Canadiens win the series and await the winner of the series between the Kings and the Maple Leafs. LA leading that best of 7, 2 games to 1. Following the draw, the Canadiens, Schneider to the left side, who went off the skates of DiPietro, now is cleared out. Norton has replaced Pervers in the lineup tonight, gave it to King, and he's dumped it in deep. Schneider, Thomas moving it on him. DiPietro back to help. Under 2 minutes to go. Haller pushed to the corner boards by Derek King. King being held by Evan Haller. And there's Thomas in front to Turgeon. Shoots, pad save. It came right back to Waugh. The stick of Thomas, or King, excuse me, and he's been able to hold it for another face-off.
That's the reason he's one of the best, if not the best, goaltenders in the league today. He has the best goals against average in the playoffs. He has the most wins in the playoffs. Second in save percentage, Patrick Roy. What an opportunity for the Islanders to put this thing away. Pierre Turgeon there. Tried to go lower left corner. Waugh got it with his left pad, and then Matt Schneider, 27, back quickly to cover up any rebound that was around Patrick Waugh.
Now Tom Fitzgerald goes in to take the face-off against Paul DiPietro. Fitzgerald to Hogue, back to Fitzgerald, to Norton covering the left point. Down the end boards, Desjardins picks it up. Out come the Canadiens. Keane to center, and he'll shoot it in well wide of the net. DiPietro after it. Healy banks it off the near boards. Keane got double-teamed, and Norton to the line, not out. Shot is blocked, and Flatley forces it away from Desjardins. The Canadiens' goal is empty. Benoit handling the puck. Off Fitzgerald, and out of play. 1 minute and 9 seconds left in the third period.
If you're wondering why a player like Patrick Flatley is the captain, I'm going to give you another example. He just went down inside his own blue line and blocked a shot from the point man. He took it off his right knee. He's trying to skate the pain off now as he moves around on the ice. Flatley sacrifices himself regularly, and he did it there. He broke up the play. The puck hit him, bounced into the center ice area, and that outstanding. Doesn't go recorded, won't be written about, but that's the reason he's a captain. He will sacrifice himself time and again, do the little things. The players that he plays with recognize it all.
Patrick Roy, as you saw, came from the Montreal bench with his face-off just outside their blue line. Jacques Devers wants a goaltender on the ice. And now Kirk Muller, I believe, has asked for the timeout. Referee Marawelli delivering the information. the Islanders are the team that has asked for the 30-second timeout. So Al Arbour wanting to make sure that everybody is on the same page here with a 2-goal lead.
No disasters. Montreal love to line up with that one player, wide receiver, if you will, over on this side if the face-off's where I think it's going to be in front of the Montreal bench on the far side.
As you watch Al Arbour, I was just looking up at Patrick Waugh. He's taken a seat on the Montreal bench. So the Canadiens are going to gamble with 6 attackers, and the goaltender will be seated as close to the door as he can be in case they should make a change here, but with 1:09 left and the Canadiens down by 2, I think Waugh will be moving all that quickly. 24 shots apiece. Ron Finn, the veteran linesman, will drop the puck between Tom Fitzgerald and Kirk Muller. Hogue and Flatley to the left for the Islanders. Pilon has moved up on the right. Lone man back is Kasparaitis, and he has to chase the puck. Darius Kasparaitis off the boards, didn't get it out. Fitzgerald takes his man. Kasparaitis after it. The Canadiens put it back in the net for Bellows. Puts it out in front. Through a screen, tipped as well, right to Fitzgerald. Empty net up ahead, steps over center smartly, across the blue line. Shot it off Brisebois. Kasparaitis is there, a backhander. He didn't get it by Brisebois. And while Hogue with a chance, he scores! See you Monday night in Montreal.
This could be a significant goal, Jiggs, not because the Islanders needed one more on this score sheet, but guess who got the goal? The guy that's been laboring. He's been an anchor for the Islanders. He has not been playing well, and it could be enough to spring him into the kind of action the Islanders need. They won this game so far without Benoit Hogue. There's the backhand shot. Stop. Darius Kasparaitis wants another try. He loosened the puck up, got it back, and here Hogue with a wrist shot. Put it into the right-hand side. It's 4-1. That sends the fans heading for the exits. It sends the Islanders to center ice to face off.
Hogue's first point of any sort in this series with Montreal. His 5th goal overall into an empty net. Seals a 4-1 win. Referee Merrill-Welly fell in the Islanders' zone, giving the crowd something else to think about on their way home tonight. Well, they couldn't get it out. We're down to the final 19 ticks of the clock. In Game 4, the Islanders have assured themselves of a chance to play again. Monday night at the Forum. Loiselle will get the puck out of the zone. David Volek, who gave the Islanders an insurance goal after Flatley got what proves to be the game winner, has dumped it in. And it's all over.
These Islanders are hearing it from their fans. They came in thinking they have had a great playoff. They've had a good run at it. The Islanders weren't satisfied. They wanted more. They showed it in this hockey game. They got the goaltending they've been getting throughout the playoffs and the run to get in the playoffs. They got expert help. We talk about the Montreal Canadiens and how they play in their own end of the ice. The Islanders stole the show, doing exactly that in their end of the ice in this hockey game.
They're being saluted as they head down the runway toward their dressing room. The crowd continues to stand and cheer. Not only a 4-1 win, but they've ended the streak of the Montreal Canadiens at 11 consecutive playoff victories, tying the mark set a year ago by both the Chicago Blackhawks and the Pittsburgh Penguins. And your final is the New York Islanders 4, the Montreal Canadiens 1, setting up Game 5 at the Forum on Monday night.
You think Al Arbour shows a lot of expression? How about that as he walks off the ice? You couldn't tell whether he won the game or lost it. Looked more like he didn't win it.
Looked like it was about a 77-77 tie, didn't it? But instead, it's an Islander win, 4-1 over Montreal. Canadiens lead the series 3-1, and we'll be back to the Nassau Coliseum to wrap this up. But first, these words. The New York Islanders, using home ice, have defeated the Montreal Canadiens tonight in Game 4 of the Conference Championship. Final score is 4-1. Series now, Canadiens leading 3-1, but there will be a game Monday night in Montreal, due in large part to the efforts tonight of Huey Krupp, and he joins Dan Fischler.
Thanks very much, Jiggs. Huey, a tremendous win. First of all, you were sweating like anything here. How many pounds did you lose tonight?
Well, I would take a guess. I would say 8 or 9 pounds. It was hard out there.
Tremendous effort by the team. What did the Islanders do different tonight than they did in the previous 3 games?
I think we had a little bit more desperation. Al said before that we play pretty good usually when the backs are against the wall. And tonight we added that extra little bit of desperation, and it came out that we were more aggressive, and we used it all to our advantage, and you know, it worked out.
We know you as a terrific defenseman and a guy who can shoot the puck from the point, but you made a save tonight, a goaltending save. Looked like the Islanders were going to be in big trouble killing the penalty. What do you remember about it? We'll take a look here.
Well, I think I remember I ended up on the left side of Glenn Healy, and here comes the shot, and I kind of see how, so I went in behind him, and yeah, well, I don't know what to say about it. I just reacted and put my feet, those big feet, in the way, and they just puck hit the skates.
What were you thinking?
I was thinking I needed an oxygen tent at that time. I was a little tired, and you know, I just want to make sure that we don't get caught in a bad change. And Patrick Roy sometimes throws the puck up quick, and they get a good.
He can be very dangerous that way.
Yeah.
Huey, before the game, I talked to some people, and they said to me they felt that the Islanders had done so much up until this point that the club were just going to exit tonight gracefully. Didn't expect the team to win, felt that you guys had done enough. Obviously, the feeling in the room was differently.
I think that first of all, we wanted to win the game, and second of all, we had so much support in the playoffs from the people of Long Island, and it would have been maybe an ungraceful exit if we would have lost at home. That doesn't mean that we're going to lose graceful in their building, but I think we put an extra effort in not to disappoint the people here, and now we are still alive, and we got another game to play in a couple of days, and we'll see what happens there. All we can do is work hard and hope that the outcome is in our favor.
Now, let me ask you this. Vladimir Malakhov got hurt. We don't know how his condition is. Jeff Norton stepped in tonight, played a very strong game.
Played a great game. I like playing with Norty. He skates very well, and he seems to get open for you all the time. He's a good friend of mine, and I like to see him do well also. And you know, it's justice. Sometimes the good guys finish first.
Now, let me ask you this. The goaltending of Glenn Healy, I thought at the critical time when the Canadiens were leading by 1, he had to be sharp, and he was.
He's been like that all the way through our playoffs games. Even when we played those quote-unquote shootout games with Pittsburgh, he got a few goals in early. We scored a few goals, and he always came up large when we needed it. That means I think he always played his best when the game was on the line, and you know, that's Glenn Healy. He's a gamer.
Well, you symbolizing the Islanders deserve a lot of credit. You never quit. Obviously, it shows in the score. Congratulations, Huey.
Thanks, Dan.
Jiggs?
All right, Stan, 2 assists for the big guy tonight as we check the game summary. Neither team scored in the opening 20 minutes, so we go to the second period, and Montreal is to take the lead on Paul DiPietro's 6th goal of the playoffs. Dom Fusen-Keen assisting at the 6:22 mark. The lead stood until 13-14 when Steve Thomas tied it with his 8th of the playoffs in '93. Krupp and King assisting on that goal. It's 1-1 going into the third period. And what turns out to be the game winner, Patrick Flatley's tip of Ray Ferraro's pass at the 5:57 mark, and from there David Volek will extend the lead at 10:24 with assist from Krupp and Fitzgerald, and then Hogue unassisted into the empty net at 19-17, and the Islander lead and win is 4-1. The shots tally, 8-4 Islanders in the opening period, then they're outgunned 13-7 in the second, come back to outshoot Montreal in the third period by a margin of 10-7, and as you see, a one-shot difference on the night, 25-24. 7 power play opportunities tonight, 3 for the Islanders, 4 for the Canadiens, and neither team scores with the man advantage. This has been a series entirely made up of basically even strength hockey.
It has, Jiggs, and when you think about it, it's something that gives me an opportunity to really crow about the penalty killers. They are the best in this series. There's no doubt about it. They have carried the play, although the Islanders did score in the shorthanded situations against Pittsburgh. But no, it's special. I think that if either one of these teams get the power play going, it could also widen the score between the two teams.
Yeah, one of these nights, you know, that somebody's going to pop one. Maybe that'll put a hole in the dam and who knows what, because both teams have guys who can put the puck in the net with a man advantage.
No question, and I thought that it was significant that Benoit Hogue, and a lot of people have, well, they say, well, it was the fourth goal near the end of the hockey game. Benoit Hogue needs something to kickstart him, to help the team. He wants to do that. Things haven't been working out for him. So watch for Benoit Hogue, along with Steve Thomas, who really got it geared up in this hockey game tonight, to be a big factor in the game Monday night against the Montreal Canadiens, because, as I said earlier, they can't win without them, and they both started to get things going here. Hogue later on, Thomas throughout the whole hockey game.
Now, what have you selected for us as our Budweiser play of the game?
My friend, as I stand here, I still haven't figured out yet how Pat Flatley was able to put the puck in to make the score 2-1. He started the play in his own end of the ice when he took the puck away from the Montreal Canadiens near the blue line. Let's take a look as we go back to that play. It was about the 5:51 mark. Montreal in control, but guess what? Slewfoot, snowshoes if you will, grabs the puck away from Montreal. You say, well, now he's so far out of the play, he'll never get back into it. Wrong again. Ray Ferraro with just a beautiful pass. Flatley with a backhand, and it's in the net. That gave the Islanders a 2-1 lead. It regrouped the fans with the players. It got the players really up into a speed, and they went on to finish the hockey game. The Budweiser play of the hockey game, the goal by Pat Flatley.
And your final score, the New York Islanders 4, the Montreal Canadiens 1. There will be a game at the Forum on Monday night. We'll have it for you on Sports Channel. We'll also have more of our wrap-up right after this. So the New York Islanders get themselves back into the series with the Montreal Canadiens. And again, I remind you that it's Monday night for Game 5 at the Forum. If Game 6 is necessary, it's here at the Nassau Coliseum next Wednesday. And if it should go the distance, if the Islanders can keep this thing alive, it would all be decided in Montreal next Friday night. But first things first, be with us on Monday. Again, a reminder that the series with Los Angeles and Toronto to decide the other opponent, the other half of the Stanley Cup finalist, now held by Los Angeles, 2-1, and they play tomorrow evening at 5 o'clock Pacific Coast time, and that game to be seen in the local area and, in fact, across the country on a delayed basis. Skinny from tonight's Islander win? Yeah, we've got some skinny for you. The Islanders facing elimination coming in here tonight are now 3-0 in first games when facing elimination in series against Montreal, and this is the fourth time that the two teams have met in postseason play. Point number 2. Kind of interesting that winners of Game 4 in the series this year have won 10 of 12 playoff series. And tonight the Islanders did win Game 4. Can they make a full comeback? And number 3, Glenn Healy's 10th playoff victory as an Islander, tying him with Kelly Rudy for third behind, you've probably guessed, right? Bill Smith and Glenn Chico Resch on the all-time list. In the final again, the New York Islanders 4, the Montreal Canadiens 1. The Islanders are back on Sports Channel Monday night at 7:30 for Game 5 of the series with the Canadiens. The Mets are also on Monday night at 7:30 when they take on the Phillies, and that game will be seen on Sports Channel America. Now for Ed Westfall and Stan Fischler, I'm Jiggs McDonald saying so long until Monday, and thanks for watching New York Islanders hockey on Sports Channel.
This has been a presentation of Sports Channel, a tradition of excellence and innovation in regional sports television.